HBCU, H-Town, home of the Trackers, man.
Home of the Cappers. Oh.
Shalom, Israel. Welcome to ISBHPK, Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We have class times from Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., Friday 6 to 9 p.m., and Sabbath morning class Saturday 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can catch our live classes on Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. You can catch our old recorded classes, some old cable shows on Kazakia ISB HBK. We also have kids class every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Time. We record these and then we post them after the fact. Our school is located at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. If you're in the San Antonio area, we have a school at 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. If you're in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area, we also have a school at 501 Copper Avenue, Northwest Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87102. If you need to reach a teacher, you can call or text Bruce Kazakia at 321-960-8411. Freestyle Womb at 832-941-2443. Or you can email us at hiddentruth12@gmail.com. What else do we have? We just got over doing feast dedication. 8 days of feasting and gathering. So if you missed it, you're gonna have to wait till next year. We had fun. We had a lot of fun. Next feast we got coming up is gonna be Passover. So if you need a garment, if you want a garment made, you need to contact us now, as soon as possible, ASAP, so that the sisters can start working on the garments. Because when they get rolling and they start getting busy, it's gonna be hard to squeeze last minute things in. So hit us up now so we can get you a garment if you want to get a garment and get together with us. Let's see, if you'd like to help out, any monetary donations, we have a Wells Fargo account, and she's going to put that account number in the YouTube comments, in the YouTube section. If you'd like to give any type of contribution, books, cars, clothes, cans, goods, pens, papers, anything that's going to help further the truth and the educational process of your people, you can contact us at hiddentruth12@gmail.com.
Or isbhbk@gmail. Either one.
Okay.
We got a few up there.
Yeah, so with that, those are the announcements. We're going to, as we do at this time, open it up for questions. First hour. We've been gone for like a week. We haven't had class in what, a week?
Yeah, we haven't had class. It's only been
Wednesday.
Monday, Wednesday. Oh yeah, it's been about a week, kind of.
Yeah, so there should be some questions. So,
yeah, if you brothers and the brothers from OKC, if y'all have any questions, y'all can go ahead and shoot your questions now. We got some strong brothers out there, man. Wanting to be part of the ISBHBK. I say that because all these acronyms, but part of our school, brothers out there in OKC. So we're gonna start having class out there. Look out for that. So we're trying to do our part in strengthening those brothers and sisters out there. So y'all keep diligent, and if y'all know I'm here, we're here if you have any questions or anything. Okay. So we're opening up the beginning of class for these questions. Let's get them out of the way, and then the brother, Officer of 1,000, Priest Quatzazab, can get his class going. Okay. Yes, sir.
Just understanding on the full Romans 11:11. Provoked them to jealousy.
Right. Romans 11:11. Romans 11, verse 11. Read it.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their salvation, rather their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
Right. So, when we fell, what happened?
We lost our heritage.
Right. We lost our heritage. What else did we lose?
Power.
We lost power, rulership. We lost authority. We were taken down, right?
Okay.
We're in the mire. It says in Ecclesiasticus, I see servants upon horses, right?
Okay.
And kings on their feet, I think it is. Kings, princes walking on their feet. You know, we were brought low. So I know when people think salvation, they think, okay, now they can reap the things that were promised to Israel, right? So now the Gentiles, they get to have the same promises Israelite get. But just like the brothers from Oklahoma, I went over this the other day. First of all, you got to look at things retrospect in the scriptures. All the promises in the Old Testament, right? So if the New Testament, if it meant at that point, when he was speaking as in salvation, as in you get in the kingdom and partake in all the gifts that the Israelites give, right? Well then, what about the Isaiah 60, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 2, right? Micah, Nahum, all these chapters that speak about the prophecy of what's going to happen to the nations. So now, coming back and reading, this is why he said precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So, because if we continue to take one part and go off of that, then we are not reading the Bible with understanding. So we have to understand, well, what gift will they receive? And you can look at the kingdom, you can look at their kingdom, you look at their power, their rulership, their authority. They were even given this. So they were given it. They were given it. But is past tense. What have they done with this Bible thus far?
Profaned it.
They profaned the Bible. They taught lies on Christ. Taught lies on the Most High. And this is all nations that follow the beast. You see that? So now you can see how the old tokens and covenants that the Most High made, promises that he made, that they're going to go into captivity, into slavery, they cannot be disannulled. Yeah, they're not disannulled because Romans 11:11. Romans 11:11, the Most High is showing us they have been given a chance, but they squandered it. No different than the children of Israel, right? We were given a chance, we squandered it, and the Most High said, okay, I'm going to show you what happens when you disobey the laws and commandments. So now in return, once again, the cycle is happening to the nations. You see that? So how do you put it together? You got to put all these other scriptures together, or else we start to look at it from a Christian perspective. Oh yeah, the Gentiles are brought in. That's not what it's saying. What it's saying is, watch, let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy.
Hey, what was your question?
Well, it's really just understanding how would the Most High use the Gentiles to provoke us to jealousy? Is it just because they took our nationality? Obviously that doesn't, but for most who's actually asleep, you know what I'm saying, how does it provoke? It really wasn't dealing on...
I know it wasn't. On that level, the depthness I went into, I know it wasn't dealing on that level, but because there's new brothers and sisters, I'm reiterating.
I just didn't know if there was an actual question posed.
Yeah, I was going through scriptures, I was just understanding.
But Deuteronomy 32. And you're going to start at, you can, 15. Deuteronomy 32, verse 15. Now, this is going to go into more of your, it's really answering the question. I just started from the back end to bring you up to this, you know, like I said, because you got new brothers and sisters. We can't just assume they know. You see that? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 15. But Jeshurun, which means uprightful one, talking about Israel. Go ahead. Wax fat.
Right.
And kids.
Right.
Thou art wax fat, or waxen fat.
Right.
Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness.
Yeah, so showing you the Bible, first of all, uses slang. The Most High is saying Israel got to the point where they were thick, they were fat. They had all that they needed. Right? They were fat. Right. Go ahead.
Thou art covered with fatness.
Right.
Then he forsook God, which made him.
Which is the typical Israelite problem. That Israelites, they get fat, they get blessed. We see it all the time. They come into the school, they're humble in the beginning, and they want to learn. But then when the Most High start working with them, then they forget who made them fat, who blessed them. Right? It's a typical, you just look at all Israelites go through the same thing. And the thing is, only the chosen never forsake the Most High. But the ones that are in it for a reason, for a gift, for money, for a purpose, they get disappointed. So they get lifted up to a certain point, right. And then when those carnal things ain't always involved, then they easily forsake the Most High. What's up?
Well, now, with that, I just want to understand the mindset, or even can I, of, I guess, coming into something,
right,
spiritually, but wanting something carnally. I don't know, it seems kind of, it don't mix right to me, but I don't know. But how does that happen to where it's like, you come in to get this from, I guess, the Most High.
Right.
Since you don't get it, now you're moving around. I don't know, that's a funny,
What were you going to jump into another question?
Okay.
I'll answer that one after this. Go ahead.
Then he forsook God, which made him.
Right.
And lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
Yeah, so that's typical Israelites. We lightly esteem the Most High. Now it's like, oh, you know what? I can do it on my own. I don't need to do this or that. I don't need to submit myself in this way. I can get it on my own, brother. I have much as wisdom as you. Instead of saying, no, wait a minute, how did the Most High bless me? He blessed me through humility, through learning, through following. Same thing that happened with David and Samuel and Saul. You see that? Saul got puffed up, he waxed fat and kicked, and then he second questioned the Most High, the motives, why? Right? So the Most High is like, listen, to obey is better than sacrifice. So it's the typical Israelite thing. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods.
Right.
With abominations provoked they him to anger.
Yeah. They
sacrificed unto devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up,
right,
whom your fathers feared not.
Go ahead.
Of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee.
Right, so they forgot the Most High. We forgot the Most High. Go ahead.
And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them, because of the provoking of his sons.
Right, go ahead.
And of his daughters.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I will hide my face from thee.
Right.
I will see what their end shall be.
Right, so the Most High turned his back on us. Go ahead.
For they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith.
Go ahead.
They have moved me to jealousy, which is not God.
Right.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
Right. I have moved them to jealousy which those are not a people. So, going back to Romans. Right. What was Paul quoting?
Deuteronomy.
He was quoting Deuteronomy. So, He was going to provoke us to jealousy of those which are not a people. Go ahead.
Those are not a people.
Uh-huh.
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Right.
For a fire is kindled in my anger.
Right. So you see that?
Con.
He's going to provoke us to jealousy with a foolish nation.
Can I get
Yeah, go ahead.
Romans 10 and 19? How are you at? This is like the direct quote. This is a direct quote. Romans 10 and 19 of that Deuteronomy.
Con. Romans chapter 10 and verse 19.
And your question was a Romans what?
11 and 11.
Right.
But I say, did not Israel know? First Moses said it.
See, so he's saying, Moses said it. Read.
I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people.
You see that? So that's a direct quote from the Deuteronomy. They're showing you that Paul was quoting from Moses. Paul was quoting from the Old Testament.
Right.
And trying to give that understanding through the Old Testament in that time. But the people were doing this. We're doing the same things, man. There's like this big cycle of just confusion. They're just doing the same things over and over.
Right.
So you try to bring back to their remembrance, like, look, this is what they did back in Moses' time. This is what Moses said to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say the same thing that Moses said to you. I'm gonna say it. You see that?
Right. So what else did he do with that? What else did he do with this people? How did he provoke us to jealousy?
Oh, he put us in the lowest state.
Go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28. I thought it said a strange nation. Yeah, Deuteronomy. It's you can read 43.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Uh-huh.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Go ahead, jump to verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So how did he provoke us to jealousy?
Anger.
Right, the Most High put these nations over us. They put us in captivity or slavery. So this is what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about, and in that, going back to Romans 11 and 11, what did they receive? When Israel fell, what happened? Come on. They received all the riches. They received the power. They received control. They received rulership. You see that? So when people say, well, yeah, see, they're thinking future tense. You can't put future tense because you have to say, okay, when they were given it, did they abide by the law? No, that's why it comes back and tells us in Ezekiel, if the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he have robbed. So that's what they have to do to turn back. They have to give back what they've stolen and what they've lied and how they destroy. Then they can be saved. There it is. Why? Because the Most High has to do what? He has to be true. Right? So he got to give everybody a chance. So yeah, he did. He did it like that, but are they going to do that? Okay, let's leave it open. They might. All right, well, we're waiting. You know what I mean? You know how to say, well, they might do it. Okay, we're waiting. You see that? So I know we went around on that, but we needed to touch on all those. Oh, and you were saying, what were you saying about the waxing fat and kick.
Just the, I guess the understanding of you get what you get, or once you receive what you wanted,
Mm-hmm.
Then you kind of fall off a little bit.
it's like you forget that the most,
When you get comfortable.
I call it, you know what I call that? I call that new car syndrome. You know, you get that brand new car and it's got that new car smell.
Yeah.
You'll never eat in it.
Right.
You don't let people do certain things in the car, and
Right.
after a while, it starts to lose its luster,
Right.
and then you start eating in the car.
right.
Start letting
You
them
start
slam the
let-
doors.
You just start letting the car go. It's that new car you start forgetting and then you get a brand new car and then you do the same thing over. It's that new car syndrome where you start to forget. You see that?
I guess it's not as precious anymore.
It's you don't. It doesn't hold. It's not the apple of. It's like you lost that first love, like the Most High said. You lose
Yeah.
that first love. You
Yeah.
see, it's not that.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead.
it's not the apple of your eye anymore. That car, you're like, oh, I got a couple of dings now. But you know, when you attribute that, it's really because you're going through things. When you come in, it's like when the scriptures say, it's sweet in your mouth and bitter in your belly. Right? The word is beautiful when you first get it. You're like, damn, bro, I can tell you how I'm an Israelite. But then when you got to start going through the tribulations, that's when it's like, damn, you're going through it, but you forget who's putting you through it and who's actually bringing you through it.
Right.
Who brought you there and who's taking you out. That's the problem. We forget. We just look at the situation that we're going through at the time.
Right.
But it says no chastening at the present is joyous,
Yeah.
but grievous. But we forget.
No, and it reminds me of, what was that scripture, the second scripture you pulled, Deuteronomy, after Romans 11:11?
Deuteronomy 32 and 15 through 21.
Because it was talking about how at the end it said no, they had no faith. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's, it's like they lost their faith.
Yeah. Yeah, well, go to Galatians 3 verse 1. Galatians 3 verse 1 real quick.
But you see that? That's just a. It's like because like I said, the chosen ain't gonna forget the Most High, that He's the one that's controlling everything. You see that?
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be a thing of why am I going through this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? How come this is happening? It's like, oh, this is the Most High.
Read that Galatians 3 and 1.
Galatians chapter 3 and verse 1. Oh, foolish Galatians, who hath bewitched you?
Yeah, so that's really what happens. You know, when you wax fat and you kick, you start being bewitched by the carnality, by the carnal things that's coming. You know, and I know this is kind of your situation, but it's everybody's situation. You know, you come to the truth. You know what I mean? You don't have a woman. You know, Most High give you a rib. Then you got to work, build that woman up, right? You got to teach her. You got to spend time and get her mind right? You know what I mean? You in a 1-bedroom. Most High flip you to a 3-bedroom. He fixes you to. It's not you. It's Israel. How many times have we done it? But here's the question: when He brings you high, you have to understand He will bring you low to try you. So you know, this is what Israel and a lot of brothers that go through that, they forsake the Most High. You know, I've been listening to Job a lot, and that's the typical thing. They go through the Job thing, and then they curse the Most High instead of maintaining their integrity and saying, no, I'm gonna stay in the spirit, stay serving the Most High, stay following Christ. Then it's like, oh, you know what? Well, now I gotta rethink my life. Instead of staying consistent and serving the Most High. That's Israel. They wax fat. They forget that the Most High did all these things. Right? Yeah. So, I mean, you know, we can go all the way into that.
Right.
But you got any other questions?
I do, if nobody has something online.
We got a couple
There's a
online.
lot.
Let's see. First one online.
The first one online is it unlawful to be with someone of another nation? And what if you have kids with them? Do you stay or what?
the first question?
Is it unlawful to be with someone of another nation? And if you have kids with them, do you stay?
We get this question a lot too.
Yeah.
You know, once again, and we sound like a recorder, but once again, every time we come into this question, you know, every instance, when brothers talk about this situation, they're going to take you to where Esdras, where the priests had cut off all the wives of other nations.
And their kids.
And their kids. You know what I mean? So, well, when we talk about it, we talk about the whole Bible in the sense of you have that instant, but then you also had the instant where Moses had a wife of another nation. He didn't cut her off. And when then his sister spoke against it, the Most High cursed his sister with leprosy. You have the time where David had wives of other nations. Solomon, right? We know Solomon went off, but David didn't. See, we know that there's these instances where we dealt with women of other nations, but the Most High didn't want us to deal with their beliefs, their gods, and their philosophies. So that's why he told us, don't deal with them. Because you have those instances where they were falling off. Right? So, you know, this is what the Most High is saying. This is what the Most High is showing. Did you just text me that right now, Ak? Okay.
While I was driving up here.
Okay, all right. I had a deja vu when you sent me that. I don't know where that came from. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
Kinda.
All right. So you have these instances in the Bible. I'm going to say this again. When a lot of brothers from camps talk about this question, they're going to take you to one part of the Bible. When we talk about these questions, we're going to take you to the whole Bible. We're not just going to use one part and say, oh, this is what it should be. Because if it should have been that, in reality, why did the priests have to put away their wives anyway? No, I'm saying, if they wouldn't have dealt with them, right? If Israelites wasn't dealing with the women of other nations, then in reality, they wouldn't have to put them away. So you had that. That was going on. But the Most High, especially in Esdras, was trying to make a point. The priests were trying to make a point. Okay, without going through all that, you can go back and read it. All right? We're going to go to answer your question. No, we don't separate homes. That's not what we're here to do. The black man already does not take care of his household, his family, and his kids. So for you to tell me and you to be like, no, brother, he got to leave his wife.
And his kids.
And his kids. You're a damn psychopath. You're out of your mind. And that's not what the Most High intended. Once again, David had a woman of another nation. Solomon was of a woman of another nation, right? We know Ruth was a woman of another nation. Moses had women of another nation. The patriots, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had women of other nations.
Half the 12 tribes.
Okay, so like I said, when we talk about it, we're going to bring out all the instances. Then you understand, really, well, then why the Most High say don't deal with them? Because we weren't supposed to deal with their gods, their philosophies, their idols, and all these things. Most High didn't want none of that. But it happened. And, you know, like I said, Moses and David and Solomon and the priests that had to put away, they started dealing with them. Right? So, just like now.
Yeah.
You got, like, even though my wives ain't women of other nations, but at the same time, there's many Israelites that's out there in the world. They don't know that. So they're having kids and they're bearing children with these women of other nations, right? So when they come in, what do? You're like, oh, brother, you got to leave your wife, leave your kids. That's not up to you.
It's not even common sense.
Yeah, it's not. It's not, but for some brothers that are zealots, zealots. Yeah, they're zealots. They're
Super zealous.
Yeah, they're super zealous to the point of where it's like, nah, nations gotta be. They're gonna no. You can't be amongst. You can't breathe. You can't. That's not going to be the case. Even in the kingdom, they're gonna be amongst you serving you. So, let's go to Matthew's.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 24.
Matthew's 13 and 24. Because the instance, the example, the parable was already set. Now, do we teach, hey, brother, it's okay to go get a woman of another nation? No. So let's get that out of there. Let's knock that out of there real quick. Because you got people that try to bash our name. We're not teaching that because the scriptures, first of all, who are we supposed to be bringing?
Israelites.
We're supposed to be bringing back the children of Israel.
Right.
So, we get those calls. Brother, you know what? I can't deal with the black woman no more. You got 12 tribes.
Right, you a Hispanic.
Go get you a Puerto Rican, a Dominicana. Go get you a Navajo, a Cherokee, Blackfoot.
They're the Spanish-speaking black girls.
Yeah, that's what. Go get you a Mexicana. Go get you a West Indian chick, a Haitian chick. You got all these tribes. So, no, we're not saying, go out, get other nations. I'm answering the question according to what you asked, which is, they already have a wife, they already have a kid, right? When they come and say, well, brother, can I learn? We don't be like, well, brother, you got to get rid of your wife and your kids. That's ridiculous. No, we let him learn and his wife learn. Because his kids are Israelites anyway.
Right.
So these are the things that it gets kind of ridiculous when you deal with this topic. And you have brothers that will tell you to leave your wife. Now, why don't we read Matthew's? Where are we at?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
Read
Matthew's what?
Matthew's 13 and 24.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable he put forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But when men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat.
Right, so let's get it right. That this parable, Christ wasn't shooting these parables out for no reason. They weren't a parable just to give you something to think about, like a Chinese saying. Chinese
and the fortune cookie?
Yeah, he was telling you because these parables was accounts of things that will come, that will be, that will happen. So let's get that right out there. When he says the 5 virgins, some were wise and some were foolish, he gave you an example of what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like. That Israelites, you're going to have some wise, some foolish, and he tells you how to determine who is foolish. It wasn't just a parable, but just to say, oh, that was just a parable, brother.
That was a deep saying.
No, this parable is telling us what happened.
Right.
The Most High, this is his kingdom. And how does it go? Read it again.
But while
Verse 24.
24. Another parable put he forth unto him, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field.
Right.
But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat.
You see that? The kingdom of heaven is like this man sowing good seed, but Satan come in and throw what?
Tares amongst the wheat.
So the Bible tells you that that's going to happen. The Bible tells you that's going to happen. So you got a lot of brothers and sisters out there that act like some of these black folks ain't white people. We did a show on it before. There's a lot of white people that you think is white or Caucasian, but their father is a straight Negro. And his father's a straight Negro. But because they married a white woman, they came out looking more Caucasian. They came out, married an Asian, they came out looking more Asian. So this is where John the Revelator said, look, and I saw, behold, another multitude, what I could not number, right? Out of every nation, kindred, and tongue. These were Israelites that looked like damn heathens. And this is what people are not understanding. The seed was sown but the enemy came and sowed the tares amongst us. So, go ahead.
And went his way. But when the blades was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also.
Go ahead.
So the servant of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did not thou sow good seed in thy field?
Uh-huh.
From whence then has it tares?
Right.
He said unto them, An enemy has done this.
Right. So we got to that point. Let's jump to the edification now. The enemy sowed the seed, the tares. So what verse is the
Verse 30.
verse what?
Is it 30?
38.
No, before that, what verse you at right now?
Was that verse
28.
27?
Just read on down. Go ahead.
He said unto them, An enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up?
So we're the servants. We're asking, listen, should I go gather these tares? Should I make it a point for me to go amongst these brothers and sisters? They'd be like, we got to check your DNA, brother. Your hair ain't kinky enough. You know what I mean? Hold on. We got to check your, what was your father's father? We got to see that.
What's your registry?
Where at? What's your registry? Brothers think that because they did that back then to count our people. You know what I mean? It's like, now, you know what? Let's get the registry of every Israelite. Like I said, zealots, and don't understand. They're not taking in account the whole Bible. The whole Bible in this generation to come. The Most High didn't do it like that. He's telling us not to do it like that. Go ahead.
But he said,
Uh-huh.
Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares.
He said no. Because when you try to go gather up the tares, you're making it a point to check these brothers that got wives of other nations, right? Go ahead.
Ye root up also the wheat with them.
Yeah, this guy that you could have sealed. Now he's like, damn. So my wife in it. My wife it can't be in, and my kids. I'm out too. Right? And well, some brothers would be like, well, then they ain't chosen. But what was the point of the Bible telling us not to do that? What was the point of the Bible telling us not to try to go up and make that decision and root up the tares? Right? So this is what the Most High, we got to take into account what the Most High said, all Israel is not of Israel. All Israelites are not Israelites. So just because you dark skinned, you got kinky hair, you might be a damn Edomite. So get off your high horse. Go ahead.
Let both grow together until the harvest. And
let them do what?
Grow together until the harvest.
Let them do what?
Grow together until the harvest.
So you let them grow. Go ahead.
And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reaper, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them up in bundles to be burned, and to burn them.
Right.
But gather the wheat unto my barn.
Right. So you see that. Perfect. Down just a bar. All right. So go from there. Let's jump. No, back up. Let's jump to the edification, which is 38. Is it 38? Go ahead. Jump to verse 38.
The field is the world.
Right. There you go. The field is the world. Go ahead.
The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
You see that? So if you wanted to be like, well, this wasn't talking about nationality. It said the children of the kingdom. Who is that?
Israel.
The Israelites. They're the children of the kingdom. Go ahead.
But the tares are the children of the wicked one.
It dropped it right there. So if they try, well, that's talking about wicked Israelites. No, it's not. It's telling you, children of the wicked one. Go ahead.
The enemy that sowed them is the devil.
Go ahead.
The harvest is the end of the world.
Right. So no, the reapers are going to do it. Go ahead.
And the reapers are the angels.
So like we always ask when it comes to this point, are you the angels? Huh?
La.
No, hell no, you're not the angels. It's not up to you to separate these households. Read on. It's going to tell us. Go ahead.
As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so also be in the end of the world, this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity.
There you go. So it's showing you also not only the wheat, not only the tares, but also the wicked Israelites. All Israel is not of Israel. So this is why we don't do it, because Christ gave the last. What's up, Bob?
No, what I was going to say in that verse, because I was going to ask what the harvest was, but he said the end of the world.
Yeah, the end of the world.
When they say you're offended, as long as this word keep coming out, it's going to separate who is who, and it's going to separate the wicked out of Israel, what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
So
Now?
this word going to bring out the truth on who's who, and, I mean, if they get offended in the word, then obviously,
Yeah, well, now there's a purging, but then he was getting more specific on the reapers coming through and reaping up, taking up that sickle and going through the fields and reaping up all Israel that's not Israel.
Right now, not in the end.
No, it's talking about the end. The angels literally coming and dividing the sheep from the goat. Right? That's what he said, right? What is it, Matthew 25?
When you see 41 where it says all things that offend,
Right.
it's talking about all wickedness.
There you go.
Every nation, it doesn't matter. All wicked people. All those things that offend the righteous.
Right, because Israel don't get it.
Right.
See, we're only dealing with the chosen.
Right.
Because there's a lot of Israelites are going to die. So stop thinking this is like, you know what I mean?
Nation slaying.
You know when Israel gets to come back in the regeneration.
Right.
When they come back, then they get to be born into the kingdom.
But what do you got to regenerate from?
Yeah, death. You're going to have to be burnt the hell up because you're not going to want to change and you're going to go down with America, right?
We see, where it says all things that offend and them which do iniquity.
Right.
It's talking about them that offend the righteous.
Yeah.
And offend the word. And I mean, like when it says in where it says mark them that sigh and cry for the abominations done in the midst of the city. You see that? It's going along with that. Like we're offended at the things that we see. We get offended. It's an offense to us. When what was that?
Well, I don't know what script, but they say, blessed is he not offended in me. Basically, he is the word. So if the word, don't offend them, is that saying like we just take it for what it is? Like basically nothing ain't gonna offend somebody who really believes because they already understand how it's supposed to go.
Well, this is the thing. For me, it's an offense for another person to assume my nationality. That's offensive. You see that?
Right.
It's offensive for a man to walk through the mall holding hands with another man. That's offensive as hell. It's offensive to see a woman walking around acting like a man kissing a chick. That's offensive as hell to me. So that's just some of these offenses that the Most High is talking about is going to be cut out and burned up. But these offenses come in people. You see that? It's a spirit.
Yeah.
So it's not just talking about nations. It's talking about anyone that brings these offenses.
Right, which was obviously the wicked.
The wicked, right.
The wicked of all.
Of all nations.
The nation of Israel.
Right.
And all the other nations. They're going to have to go.
Right.
They're going to have to go. I thought Matthew 25, right? What was that on the question we had?
On this topic.
All right, go to. They had a question on that too. I'm trying to look for the 25. Matthew 25, real quick. 25:32, and then we'll go to this one. They're asking on this topic.
Matthew 25 and verse 32. say, "Come whenever you have it."
Done.
Verse 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another.
Go ahead.
As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
As a shepherd what?
Divideth his sheep from the goats.
As a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. Well, we know the sheep is who?
Israel.
The lost sheep of the house of Israel, and the goat is who?
The nation.
No, it's Esau. It said the Daniels. Go to Daniels. Go to Daniels 8:21.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 21.
Daniels 8 and 21. Read that.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
Yeah, the goat represented the Grecians, the so-called white people. So the Most High is going to do the separating of the sheep and the goat. Y'all see that?
Done.
So we know the wicked one has sown the seed, but our job is to get the chosen. He said if you offend one of his little sheep, it's better for you to put a stone around your neck and jump in the damn lake. Right? So our job is, that's not what our job is to do, man. Our job is not to go out and get DNA tests and everything of these brothers or cut off brothers that have families established. You know what I mean? Your job is not to do that. Once again, are we saying go out and deal with the other nations? No. All right.
And that's what this what does it mean by whoredom? Go to Tobit 4 and 12. Go ahead and read that. No?
Tobit chapter 4 verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
Okay, stop right there. So they wanted to know what it meant by whoredom.
Right. It's talking about two things. Here, as you read this verse, read it again.
From the top. Tobit chapter 4 verse 12. Beware of all whoredom.
Right. Beware of whoredom.
My son.
So whoredom is when he said take a wife. He's take a wife. Don't run around just sleeping with
There you
a
go.
bunch of women.
There you go.
Man, what's up? You talking about right now?
Just a little bit. It was kind of late.
Oh, okay. No, it's all good. Yeah. like the club.
Where's my snare, bro?
Yeah, you got too much bass. But no, yeah, you said take a wife. Meaning don't just run around sleeping with a bunch of different women and not dealing with them as a wife.
Right.
Take a wife of thy people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was talking about with the whoredom.
And yeah, you're supposed to take a wife of your people. That's why this is what the law was supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to not eat pork.
Right.
You're supposed to not celebrate Christmas.
Right.
But that was supposed to have happened.
Right.
But it didn't happen.
Right.
So now we got the seed mixed with the wheat in the tares, right?
Right.
So now we got to deal with how do we deal with that situation? Because we know what's supposed to happen. For us that know, we go by it, right? We ain't out there getting white women. We ain't out there sleeping with other nations. We're out there. If we were looking, it would be for Israelite women.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, there's different scenarios. If somebody, like we just went over, if somebody comes in already attached,
Right.
to that person of another nation and got kids and things like that, we're not in the position to tell them, listen, separate.
Right.
But we know that once you start getting the knowledge, let's say a brother ain't got no rib, he starts getting the knowledge, we tell him, look, not a nation, get you an Israelite.
Right.
Because we're supposed to be building our people first. What's
Right.
up?
It's, Leviticus 36 was like, I guess they wanted at one point to stick to your tribe. I guess speaking on.
You gotta get it.
Yes.
Wait, it says what?
Yes.
Stick to Judah with Judah.
No.
Is that what they were saying?
No. No. We can deal with all the tribes. You know what I mean, we can deal with all the tribes of the nation Israel, and that's where that goes too. You got some cats saying that now. You don't know. You're only supposed to do.
Ran across that last night.
Yeah, like even in Tobit, when it tells you thy tribe, it says.
It says, which is not of thy father's tribe.
Right, but when it says tribe there,
It's talking about your
it's talking about your descendants, your people,
people, your kindred.
your kindred. Yeah.
Okay.
See that once again, these cats they come up with that. Now they're like, brother, you're only supposed to deal with your tribe.
Because it's all about that. This breed separation and breed separation and more separation and more confusion and more
Yeah,
separation.
that's what it's about. That's why a lot of these, you guys got to understand, a lot of these guys coming up with all this online, you got to take into account there is some CIA doing some confusion somewhere. How the hell did they bring down Martin Luther King, right? Malcolm X.
Fred Hampton.
Who?
Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I got to go into that one. But, you know, think about it. How did they bring down these cats?
Internally.
Yeah, it's easy to cause confusion. All you got to do is just get online, put a beard on,
That movie.
you like that one movie, 888,
Con.
999, what is it? Yeah, they went out there and they got the dress, everything like Israelites, right in the movie. But they were all extras,
Right.
right? And that's what it is. Now, and then you got your typical case of psychotic ass niggas that just don't want to learn, and they want to be priests themselves, and they just pop up teaching things it says they ought not to.
Con. Ooh.
Self-taught.
Yeah, self-taught. So, but we know biblically that all these things must come to pass.
There must be heresy.
There must be heresies amongst you, that they which are approved may be seen.
Con.
So we're not tripping about it, but for you that don't understand what's going on here, that all these things, it has to happen like this, because the ones that are really in for the Most High in Christ, they're gonna see what the scriptures are saying. They're gonna lock into that. They're not gonna be an Israelite because there's another Black Panther, black movement.
Con.
You know what I mean? Another boys club. They're gonna do it because they want to heal, raise, and teach their people. Okay? These are the things that a lot of our people, man, don't understand. A lot of these young cats online don't understand. So that's why you got all these instances coming up. You know, mind you, the same thing about Tobit. Somebody put that the other day. Oh, you're only supposed to deal with your tribe. Dude, you don't study nothing. You just open up your damn mouth and speak.
Right.
No, he wasn't saying tribe. He was saying descendants.
Yeah,
What?
it says a strange woman.
Right.
Well, who are the strangers?
Right. The nations.
The nations.
Right. Yeah, but he was making it seem like, oh, only now you can. If you're a Judah, you can only
Deal
be
with
with
Judah.
Judah. If you, it's like, no. But then they run with it though.
Yep.
They get online and all they gotta do is just
Post it.
sound smart. You know what I mean? But if you want to help yourself out, ask them how long they've been in the truth and how long they've been studying.
That's when you ask their pedigree.
Yeah, you have to do that because you're finding out. Listen, it takes years to get understanding. You're not. A lot of time, how many brothers come into the school, man, and don't really study? Huh? I'm talking about study. You know what I mean? How many times brothers come into school, man, they sit down and they don't even know how to break down Deuteronomy. You understand?
Con.
They don't really study. And a lot of these guys, that's what they do, and they feel they sound wise, so they go out there. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at this point or topic. I'm just like, it's a topic that constantly comes up with these different brothers because they didn't sit down and damn were ready to learn. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. So where are we at now?
Were we done with that, or were we done with that?
Yeah, I mean, were we? The person that asked the question,
Who's online?
Yeah.
did we answer that? Was that sufficient for you? I know we kind of went into other things veering into this point, but it was needed because a lot of these things come through a lot of these questions that come up is because a lot of bad information is out there. Okay, yeah,
I know you hit on Daniel, but I had a question to Daniel. Just basic.
yeah.
When it says the king of the south in Daniel's 11 and 14, is that America?
Daniel's 11?
Yeah, it's well, yes, 11.
No,
verse 14.
most likely, and I gotta go back over that. I haven't been over Daniel's in a long time. That chapter, but I think that was talking about the actual king at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the king of the south at that time. But I'll double check that. Yeah.
Oh, how about the ring?
Uh,
Is that what's up with the ring? The wedding ring?
the red rings were, we wore rings.
Yeah.
We wore rings. So, you don't hear about the literal, like, the wedding ring. I haven't read that in the scripture. But did we give gifts? Yes. When you married, did you have some type of carnal, symbolic theme that was given? Yes, we did that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that.
I did some reading on the wedding ring.
Yeah?
And basically, the wedding ring, it was like an Egyptian custom that was handed down to the Romans. And then they used like different metals, your platinums, your gold, to show social status. So that's all it really was. It was to show your social status.
Mm.
You see that? And they gave it, you give the platinum to your woman so she can flaunt it around. But yeah, when you read, like you were saying, there's not
Scriptures,
anything in the
yeah.
scriptures that it was like our custom.
Yeah.
Because let's look at it like this: the wedding papers, right? That wasn't our custom. That wasn't a thing that we just had to have. You see that? Because we knew what marriage was
Mm-hmm.
in the eyes of the Most High. So we didn't need anything to show like, hey, I'm married to this person, or a social status. Here's my status with this person. We already knew it.
So
You see
it
that?
wouldn't make you wicked or nothing
No,
like
it
that.
doesn't.
man.
No, I'm not saying it makes you wicked.
Yeah.
It was just something that it wasn't a custom.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't our custom.
Once again, because we did wear rings.
Yeah, we wore jewels.
We wore jewels.
Yeah.
Rings, earrings, nose rings, right? We wore these things. So that's why I said that, because it doesn't make you wicked if you do give your wife one, or you do get one. You see that? Right.
Somebody go to hey,
Yeah.
can we do one more and then
Yeah.
answer all the questions?
I mean, we got more?
There's a couple more. I was just gonna hit this one real quick. It's easy.
Yeah.
Go to Exodus 23 and 20.
That's what question they have?
23 and 19. They want to know what it means to see a kid in his mother's milk.
Oh, right.
And the thing with this is one of the things that the so-called Jews, the fake Jews over in Israel, they use this scripture to tell you that you can't eat you can't eat like cheese and meat at the same time, or milk and meat. For example, a pizza with beef on it. You can't eat pizza with like beef or chicken, and then like a rabbi will tell you that because of this scripture. But read that. Exodus, 23 and verse 19.
The first of the first fruits of thy land.
What was the question?
The question is, what does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean to see a kid in his mother's milk?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Go ahead.
The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God.
Mhm.
Thou shalt not seeth a kid in his mother's milk.
Right. So when it says you shouldn't see a kid in his mother's milk, it's talking about how you're not supposed to kill a baby calf while it's still nursing.
Right.
You're not supposed to be eating veal. That's what veal is. It's baby calf. So you're not supposed to eat a kid. You slaughter a calf after it's done nursing, when it's still in its mother's milk.
This is actually funny.
You see that? But they try to use that scripture to say you can't eat cheese pizza with beef on it. You know what's funny? I had this discussion the day before Christmas. I had this discussion. Remember I got that pizza? And I was talking to one of the Israeli cats, and I was like, man, you want some pizza? And he was like, does it got meat and cheese?
Yeah.
And I had to take him to the scripture, like, what are you talking about? He said, you're not supposed to see it. I said, bro, stop.
Now he makes it.
It don't make no sense. First of all, because they said, does that pepperoni? I said, well, no, you ain't supposed to eat no pepperonis anyway. You see that? But they try to use this to say that you're not supposed to eat meat and cheese at the same time. But that's not what it's talking about. You're not supposed to be killing baby calves before they're at an age when they're still on their milk. You see that? When they're still drinking milk.
Most High is like, give them a chance.
Give them a chance to at least graze and form and grow. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But that's what, Esau finds, they find a way, or these nations, the wicked, they'll find a way to say, well, that's when the meat's most tender. Because veal is supposed to, I never had it, but veal cutlets is supposed to be the most tenderest meat. But yeah, that baby, it's a baby.
Right, that's why it's tender, it's soft.
It's soft, yeah. But that's what they're about. They're about that, it's the best cut of meat, it's this, it's that.
Like the meat was bloody.
Yeah, so
Right.
that's all that the scripture's talking about. You're not supposed to kill baby calves when they're still nursing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's the next one?
Let's see. Go to.
How will the Israelites in the Caribbean and other parts of the world be delivered in the day of destruction?
The same way all the Israelites are going to be delivered. He said from the four corners of the earth. Go to Isaiah 11 and 11. Go to Isaiah 11 and 11.
Something else you were talking about.
Uh-huh. Isaiah, go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read it.
If you got to go ahead and get it.
Come.
Go ahead. Yeah, Isaiah 11 and 11.
Isaiah 11 verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
Okay, you got to read a little louder so they can hear you online. But the Most High is going to recover the remnant of his people. Go ahead.
Which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros
Uh-huh.
and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar
Shinar. Mm-hmm.
and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the island of the sea.
So the scriptures is making the point that Israelites are scattered everywhere. From Babylon to the Ethiopians to the Elamites to Assyria, we are everywhere. And a lot of those people over there, which some brothers make a point to say is that, that over there in the Middle East, there's a lot of Israelites over there still also. A lot of our people went back in the 70s, and they're over there. So our people are going to be delivered from there.
This is another reason why that Matthew 13 and 24 comes into play, because
Right.
First of all, you don't know who the hell is who.
Right, you're gonna be thinking, oh, they straight up Egyptian. Oh, this is Egyptian. That might be an Israelite. You don't know.
Right.
This is why you gotta watch when you start looking at image. The scripture said Christ didn't judge by sight. Yeah, Isaiah 11 and 1. He didn't judge by sight. He judged after the spirit. So, and we've been, why could we speak on this so well? Because we've gotten two brothers in our school at one time. One brother, he was adopted. Now, he looked like an Israelite. For all we knew, he was of the tribe of Issachar, right? But he didn't know his father and mother. What you gonna do on that one? Huh? What you gonna do, brother? You gotta know. We gonna get a DNA test. You're third. That's stupidity, man. And then we had another brother. He was from the west coast of Africa, which we know. We got the Yoruba tribe. The what?
And Igbo.
The Igbo tribes out there, right? A lot of our people know they're not African. They know they're Israelites. They're Hebrews. So you have these instances where things are not cut and dry, and when you establish the people's mind on, oh no, you got to check their DNA. Well, you got to check their birth certificate. It ain't that cut and dry all the time. Then what? So that's why we got to be spiritual with this. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
Go ahead.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Right. He shall assemble the outcasts. The ensign is the chariots. When you see those chariots coming from the heavens, you're going to know that that's our gathering. That our time is at that point. Go ahead.
We got next.
And gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Right. So you see that? It's going to gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Judah is scattered everywhere. Go ahead.
13.
Right. No, that's it. I mean, it goes down. But the scripture is showing that the Israelites are scattered everywhere. So you can't just say, they're here. They're here. Their majority are here in America, but we're everywhere. Right? Because we know you were brought over here as slaves. But you got our people scattered everywhere, man. Europe. We're all through Europe, man. And you went over there during Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and Nagasaki some little
Vietnam.
You went over there through Vietnam and laid that black seed. There's black Chinese in China that are disdained and hated because of their black skin. Go online, straight up, black as hell, but Chinese, right? Because our people are scattered everywhere and they're going to be lifted. And how about if she wasn't black? See, that's why I said you got to stop judging by sight. How about she would have looked more like her mother and less like her daddy? You can't judge by sight all the time. Israelites have to get off that and wake the hell up. What you gonna say? Who had their hand? No, you had their hand raised. Yeah.
That person had another comment to his question. He said, will there be chariots?
Also, come.
Yes, that's what it said. Read 12 again.
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And he shall set an ensign for the nations.
The ensign is the sign that we're going to see when we know it's our gathering. The ensign is the chariots. Like the scripture in Isaiah, it also says they shall fly as doves through their windows. The chariots is our gathering. Remember, Revelations 19, he says when he comes back, he's going to come back with the armies of heaven. Okay, so the gathering, the destruction, and our the being lifted up in the clouds is the chariots. I mean, we can go over a whole class on that, but yes, we're going to be gathered with those chariots through the four corners of the earth. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. What's the next one real quick? And then we're going to his class.
Next one. There was one here.
Can you give me more verses?
You said what?
Jasmine Perry said, can you give me more verses to respond to raising children in the truth aside from Proverbs 22 and 6?
Oh yeah. Go. First of all, you can write down Ecclesiasticus, the 30th chapter in the Apocrypha. The whole chapter is going to teach you how to raise your kids. But we should have a class on that, right? Multiple classes on that.
Parenting 101?
Yeah, Parenting 101. Yeah, we'll find it and post it because we've definitely been over classes on that. But what do you got? You got Ecclesiastes 30? What?
All of us.
I mean, you don't got to go through it because once you start from verse 1, all the way down is going to go over parenting on how really to dig in and really to deal with these children. So maybe we have to do another class on that, but we've done a lot on those. All right.
So, let's see. It says, why Ishmael then Isaac, Cain then Abel, Esau then Jacob? The Canaanite was already in the land doing evil in the land. Abraham was in Mesopotamia where they worshipped idols before the Most High told him to leave. Evil before righteousness, question marks. So you gotta kind of
we went over this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't evil before righteousness, and we'll throw the post on. We'll throw the class up there. We literally touched on this within the 2 weeks before, 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because for some reason it's going around that evil was before righteousness.
No.
There's no evil wasn't before righteousness. See, the Most High created all things righteous. Then the disobedience came in. Then there was wickedness.
Come.
So you have to understand that from the beginning. That the evil seed was sown after Adam rebelled and he sinned. Then it was sown. Then that decree that was sent forth is now. Okay? So we've touched on this. I got all the scriptures right here too that we already went over on that topic a few times. And the reason I'm saying that is because if we go over that, it's going to take up majority of class. Okay, but we're going to throw it up there for you. And put it up there for you. I was just going to read off some of the scriptures.
Which one was?
What was the name of that class? Man.
It was a straight question class.
It was, oh, right, it was a question class.
That was like a Sabbath, right?
Nah.
Sabbath? No.
No, it says, I think it's one of the classes you just have up there. It says questions.
Cremation?
Oh, actually, it was on the High Holy Day, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. Because we was going into your class where we answered that question as well.
Oh, okay. So send them the link that says High Holy Day. We touch on, once again, brothers and sisters, we touch on a lot of questions in the beginning of these classes. So if you watch our old classes, you'll see that a lot of these questions you're asking is kind of repetitive, which is not a big deal, but we're just letting you know that we constantly touch on the same, because you're online. You're going online and you're bouncing around and you're listening to this and that, and you're unsure. But I'm going to tell you like this, man. Common sense. One scripture, the first scripture I put, go to Colossians. And just as on this same topic, same point, and you'll hear it if you watch the last class. But read this Colossians.
2 and 18?
No, it's 1. Colossians 1, verse like 13 to 14. Read that real quick. Just on this brother's question, because I want to squash that real quick. But there's a lot more scriptures. Read that.
Come on, Colossians chapter 1 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
In whom we have redemption through his blood.
Right, so we have redemption through Christ, through his blood. Go ahead.
Even the forgiveness of sin.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Who is the image of the invisible God.
So Christ is the image of the invisible God. Now how does this correlate with your question? It's gonna answer it. Go ahead.
The firstborn of every creature.
Christ was what?
The firstborn of every creature.
Christ was what?
The firstborn of every creature.
Before any creature, anything was sown, Christ was the first angel created, the first being created. So Satan wasn't created first.
Right.
Christ was created first. Evil wasn't created first. Christ was created first. So to say that darkness or negative or evil was created first, that doesn't make any sense when Christ was the firstborn before any creature. Enthroned and on earth. He was the first being created. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
For by him were all things created.
And then Christ created everything. Go ahead.
That are in heaven and that are in earth.
Go ahead.
Visible and invisible.
Right. So go ahead, read on.
Whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him, for him.
Right. So Christ created everything. And he created everything righteous. Okay, so, and like I said, we touched on that, showing that everything in the beginning was first created righteous. So, hopefully that, I mean, if you think about what is being said, that doesn't make any sense. Because the Most High is righteous. So, yeah, hopefully that helps you out. We'll send you the link on that. Was that it on that?
There's one more.
One more?
It says, how do I keep the law? How do I keep the law concerning my wife and her cycle in Leviticus?
One, we know you don't supposed to lay with her. Okay? You don't supposed to lay with her when she's on her cycle. So, you know, besides that, unless you got money to do like the ancient days, which is to separate and put her out, you know what I mean? Then otherwise, the Most High knows that as long as you're not laying with this woman, having sex with her, you know that you're keeping the law. But you know, when you go into the technicality of the law, they were literally separated in other houses, and for their time of uncleanliness. But how do you keep it? By not laying with her, by not having sex with her. That's how you keep it. That one's kind of easy. All right. Does anybody have any other questions?
That was it online.
Those are some good questions, y'all. Yeah. Yeah, and then I touched on that. Was evil created first? We went to Genesis 1:26. We went to Genesis 2 verse 7. We went to Wisdom of Solomon 9:1 to verse 3. That's the cutter right there. It says, it tells you that Wisdom of Solomon 9 verse 1 to 3. That kills that right there. Wisdom, which was created from the beginning, was righteous. So for you to say wickedness was created from the beginning, that's not true. So that's Wisdom of Solomon 9:1 to verse 3. So, all right. Hopefully, brothers and sisters, we answered those questions. Listen, if y'all brothers and sisters do like, or y'all listen to us, check out our other classes, because we have a lot of topics on there. We have a lot of these questions that constantly we go over, and you'll see we answer them the same way every time. All right, so go ahead. Where you at?
Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, so we're gonna do this. It's a class I started like 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna kind of start over from the beginning, but I'm gonna kind of go through it. It's Ezekiel chapter 37. Somebody give me that. 37 and verse 1. We're gonna go over this valley of the dry bones.
You said 37 and 1?
Khan, Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 1. We're gonna basically break down part of this chapter. So go ahead and read that for me.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones.
All right. So does anybody know who was speaking? Anybody know who's narrating? Who's talking?
Ezekiel?
Yeah. Go to Ezekiel chapter 1, real quick. And verse 3. Ezekiel 1 and 3. Just so we can get in context, who's talking?
Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
The word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel, the priest.
All right, so jump back. So Ezekiel was a priest, he was a prophet. You see that? So this was Ezekiel in this valley of the dry bones. So, you know, the one thing we got to remember that the scriptures are written symbolically, right?
John.
Symbolism. So we got to figure out, what is this valley? Where is this valley and what does it represent? What is this valley today? What was this valley back then? So it said a valley of dry bones. Does anybody know what it's talking about when it says a valley of dry bones?
No life in the people.
What's that?
No life in the people.
Ain't no life in the people. What does the valley represent? Do you know? What's that? Speak up. Huh?
World.
The world. All right. It could be more specific.
Okay.
Go to let's get it. Go to Psalms 23 and verse 4, and then Zainala, give me Revelations 11 and verse 8. Psalms 23 and verse 4.
Psalms 20.
Whoever got it first.
Psalms 23, verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
So this valley was a shadow of death, right? I mean, you gotta think about it. You gotta look at our people today. We walk through America in the shadow of death, because at any moment, an Israelite could be shot down by a cop.
Mm-hmm.
At any moment, isn't that walking through the valley of the shadow of death? Right?
Gone.
From there, Zalali, you got that?
Yes, sir. Revelation chapter 11 and verse
Uh-huh.
8.
Mm-hmm.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
You see that? Their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. Read on.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Right. You gotta think about it. What is likened unto Sodom and Egypt today? What country? America.
Yep.
So this great valley, this valley of dry bones, was filled with
faggots,
lesbians,
slavery,
and slavery. Everything. Basically, it's everything that the modern day Israelite is going through today. This is that valley of the dry bones. The slavery, the oppression, the lack of education, the homosexuality, the drugs, the lack of basic necessities, the lack of a nationality, the lack of structure.
Yep.
This is that valley of dry bones. Those dry bones represent a lack of knowledge, a lack of wisdom. We're going to get there. Finish where you at.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
Right. So we know that Christ wasn't crucified in Sodom and Gomorrah. It was destroyed. Right? So it's a symbolism. It's a symbolism. Because even the Romans back then, they were off. They were doing some more off things.
Faggots, lesbians, transvestites.
Yeah, they were doing everything that they're doing now. That's why the scripture say there's nothing new under the sun.
Switch hitters, bull dykes.
It was up.
I see a 250-pound man yesterday in the mall with some 5-inch nails on, man. I was
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
damn.
Think about seeing a 250-pound man walking around in high heels with fake breasts.
He was Israelite.
Damn.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, he wasn't Israelite. That nigga was.
I've seen him before.
Okay.
Big black dude with a wig on.
Nah, I seen him with squirrel on.
Oh, man.
I seen him with
terrible.
Instacart.
Oh,
wow.
Bro, our people. They you know what the sad part is?
Sodom and Egypt. Either you a straight full-blown faggot, or you just a slave.
Basically, those are the two options now.
Yeah, those are the two options. I'm a
faggot.
slave. I'm not worried about nothing else but getting this money. Yeah.
Or you're a homosexual. That's crazy, man. But that's that valley. That's those dry ass bones. You ever see a dry ass chicken bone? It just looks like it's just been sucked to oblivion. It's just dry. It's brittle. Right. There's no nourishment. The marrow is gone. You see that? That's our people. There's no life in them. They're in this spiritual and physical Sodom and Gomorrah, dry with no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding. Did you finish that?
Yes, sir.
Go to Revelations 18 and 8. So what we're doing, we're getting the symbolism here and breaking down this chapter of what certain things mean. The valley, which equals, so you can write it down. The valley equals America. Just dry bones, lack of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Read that, Revelations 18 and 8.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
Actually, skip that. I'm sorry, skip that. Jump back to Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 1. Scratch the
Ezekiel
Revelation.
chapter 37 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord.
Read.
And set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
So Ezekiel was he was basically looking at the state of his people, the state of a people, and he was like, "Damn, these dudes is just into everything. Y'all dry as hell. Y'all are thirsting for some wisdom, some knowledge, some understanding. Y'all ain't got no life in you. Y'all walking around like skin on, just bone on bone, just clinking around. But they weren't even really walking, man. They were so dried up, they were just there. You see that? Read.
And caused me to pass by them round about.
Read.
And behold, there were very many in the open valley.
Read.
And lo, they were very dry.
They were very dry. They were lacking nourishment. And it said they were very many in the open valley. I brought this out last time. Think about, when you go into the ancient days or any kingdoms always had, what was the first defense of a kingdom?
The borders.
It was a wall.
Defense?
Like one of the first, or one of the main defenses of a kingdom was a wall, right? Didn't they have a wall around the kingdom?
Yeah.
You gotta look at this America. Anybody can come in America. And especially if you're already in America, you can just jump from city to city, state to state with no regulation. So anything that's being done on this side can be brought to the west. Anything from the west can be brought to, there's no regulations on what is being transferred, what knowledge. So that's why I said it's an open valley. Because anything can just come and penetrate this city. And that's the thing with this city, they bring anything in.
Right, everybody's here.
That's why they call it what, the great melting pot.
Yeah.
Right? But it's the great melting pot of homosexuality,
Right.
bad wisdom,
Right.
evil, and wickedness.
Right. In Daniel's it says a kingdom of clay and iron.
Clay and iron.
You always have they're set up to destroy themselves. You got Democrats, Republicans, pro-gay, anti-gay.
Pro-abortion,
anti-abortion. Yeah. Their own kingdom is going to implode on themselves.
A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. Right? So you see that? It's this. So America is this open valley with people just running around, especially Israelites, with lack of wisdom. They said the bones were very dry. There's one thing to say they were dry bones. He said they were very dry. Like these dudes was off. Yeah, they had that smoker's cough.
Coughing dust.
Yeah, you coughing dust. You so dry. You see that? Read on. Oh, actually, from there, give me Amos 8 and 11. So we got to see, what were they lacking? What was this drought that the Most High was showing Ezekiel? What was this drought? He said they were very dry. So we got to understand it wasn't food and water. They weren't lacking food and water. What were they lacking of, Lante? Read that. Amos 8 and 11.
Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the day shall come, said the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
What was the famine?
Hearing the words of the Lord.
Y'all see that? So this famine, he said it wasn't of bread and of water. The famine was these people, these bones didn't want to hear the word of the Most High. That's why they were famine. Right. They didn't have that nourishment. It's no different from our people out here. They're out here dry as hell, just looking ashy. Just looking like they lacking, bro. But it's a little bit of wisdom can change their life. Right. And that's what they don't understand. We see it because the wisdom works for us, right? The wisdom keeps us nourished and fed and not looking all dried up like a dead plant, right? We out here moving, right? It's the spirit that quickeneth, right?
Right.
But these people don't get that. That's why they said they were very dry. But not because of food and water. Because of what? Read it again.
But of hearing the words of the Lord.
And these people don't want to hear the word of the Most High. That's why they were lacking. Go to Isaiah 53 and verse Isaiah 5 and 13. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 13. If I'm going too fast, let me know. Isaiah 5 and 13. Who got it?
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13.
And Volante, you can write it. I mean, if you get a chance to write everything down? Nah, yeah, write it down. And then, you got it? Read that.
Therefore, my people are gone.
A little bit louder, a little bit more power.
Yeah, because they got to hear you online.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
Read.
Because they have no knowledge.
Because they have what?
No knowledge.
Read.
And their honorable men are famished.
Read.
And because their multitude dried up with thirst.
You see that? The multitude is dried up with thirst. The honorable men are famished.
Yep.
Because they don't want to hear the word of the Most High. Plus, I mean, what our people deem as honorable men ain't honorable.
No.
Jay-Z is not an honorable man.
Right.
Will Smith is not honorable.
Money makes them honorable.
Yeah, money and their riches is what we think makes them honorable.
Drake ain't nothing.
Drake ain't honorable.
Right.
You see that? So even our people's conception on what's honorable is even off. But that's what the lack of wisdom does. It makes your whole your perception on everything skewed. You see that? So our honorable men, we don't have honorable men. We don't have any. I mean, show me one, except for the brothers that's actually putting in this work for the Most High.
That's right.
Those are the only honorable men, and we don't. It's not like we have a name out in the world like go check this guy or go check this guy. Nah, we don't got no name. We ain't famous. We YouTube famous and barely, right? Barely even that. You see that? But we doing it not to get that fame. We're not doing it for that vainglory. We're doing it for our people, to get our people nourished. Read that one more time. Isaiah 5:13.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Yeah, the multitude is dried up with thirst. Those dry ass bones. Y'all are very dry because you're lacking. You're thirsting for the knowledge and the wisdom, but you're rejecting it because you don't want to hear it. Give me Isaiah 1 and 3.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3.
This right here, I added this one in from last time. Because I was, yeah. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. Read.
The ox knoweth his owner.
So an ox is a stubborn animal. But an ox knows his owner. Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
An ass is even more stubborn. But guess what? He knows where he lives at. He knows how to get home. Read.
But Israel doth not know.
The most stubborn people on the earth. They don't what?
Do not know. My
Read.
people doth not consider.
We don't even consider the Most High. Why? Because it goes back to that Amos. That famine for knowledge. That famine for the wisdom. We turned our shoulder. Like I said in Isaiah, we turned our shoulder to the Most High. Read on.
Verse 4. Sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity.
They're what?
Laden with iniquity.
Read.
A seed of evildoers.
Read.
Children that are corrupters.
You see that? This is describing our people.
Damn.
This is why those bones are so dry. Because we're evildoers, children that are corrupters. So we're not even corrupters, not to our own selves, but to other people. We corrupt people with our doings, with our lack of wanting to hear the wisdom. Read.
They have forsaken the Lord.
They have done what?
Forsaken the Lord.
You can see it because, how could you say that? The scriptures say, we have taught the wicked one our ways. So, but you got to think about it. In wickedness, that spirit still shines through you. So that's why you're much more that effect on the world.
Right.
Because you still got the power within you.
Right.
Even in wickedness, in your dirt, in your mire, you're still shining brighter
than the world.
Than the world, than the other nations. Yeah.
I can, firsthand that. Read on.
They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger.
They've done what?
Provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger.
Yeah, because we didn't want to hear what the Most High has to say. We didn't want to deal with the commandments. Read.
They are gone away backward.
Yeah, y'all dried up. Read.
Verse 5. Why should you be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick.
The what?
The whole head is sick.
The honorable men are famished. Read.
And the whole heart faint.
Read.
For the sole of their feet, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it.
You see that? Most High said that the whole body is corrupt. The whole body is dry. From the feet to the head, from the head to the tip of your toenails, you dry. We are dried up. The honorable men are famished. Read.
Verse 6. For the sole of their feet unto the head, there is no soundness in it.
Read.
But wounds.
Right.
And bruises.
Yeah, you just beat up, man. You're like an old boxer. You just beat up. Read.
And
putrefying sores. You got cuts pussing. Ain't nobody trying to, you can't get healed. Ain't no ointment trying to heal you. You see that? Read.
They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
You see that? Because the only thing that was going to mollify you, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, this one just hit me. It said it wasn't mollifying plaster or herb. But it was thy word that healed all things. You see that? Y'all can throw that in there. That's Wisdom of Solomon. You know which one it is? What is it? Yeah. Throw that in there as a little precept. That just hit me. Wisdom of Solomon. It's actually Wisdom of Solomon chapter 16 and verse 12. I'll read it real quick. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. So it said they had putrefying sores that couldn't be closed. Why? They didn't want to get the wisdom. These dry bones rejected the wisdom of the Most High. What were you going to say, Zion?
Every time I see that Judite chick from the movie theater.
That what?
The Judite chick. Judite female.
Which one?
For the movie, the little skinny little.
Oh, yeah.
She have scratches all on her face.
Yeah.
Think about that, because she come over here, her face just looking just droopy.
Looking beat up. But
Beat
why?
up.
But what is she? But what's she into? Homosexuality, right? Yeah, she's into that. She's into that homosexuality. She looks like her body is just being sucked dry. You see that, like in her face, bro. You gotta see it. It's terrible.
Look like Freddy Krueger scratched up.
Yeah, bro. Then her face is all cut up. But then every time I see her, she just gets skinnier and skinnier. I'm like, damn.
Crying for help.
Yeah, you too young to look like this. She's 19. Just looking.
Wow.
Beat. She looking like this Isaiah 3 and 1 or 1 and 3. She looking. Bro, read on.
Verse 7. Your country is desolate.
Your what?
Your country is desolate.
We ain't even got a country. But it's desolate. If we did, it'd be desolate. It'd be dried up. It'd be ransacked. Because we have no wisdom. We wouldn't even know how to keep it going. Because we reject the wisdom of the Most High. Read.
Your cities are burned with fire.
Read.
Your land, strangers devour it in your presence.
Look at that. You see that? They're devouring Israel in our presence. They're devouring the Holy Land. We know about it. We can't. There's nothing that we can do. Because we don't want to hold to the wisdom. We don't want to get the bones nourished. We want to be these dry bones. Read.
And it is desolate.
Read.
As overthrown by strangers.
You see that? So this is what Ezekiel was seeing. This is the condition of the people that Ezekiel was seeing when he was in this valley of these dry bones. This is the things that he saw. From there, go to y'all with me so far? Go to Hosea 3 and 6. So these are the things that Ezekiel saw when he got into this valley of dry bones. So don't think he was walking through this valley of dust and there was just a bunch of little bones sticking out of the ground.
What was that again?
Hosea 3 and 6. Yeah.
4 and 6.
Yeah. Did I write it down wrong? Yeah, get it. Hosea 4 and 6. I'm sorry.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 6.
No. Yeah, 3 and 6. 4 and 6. 4 and 6. I'm sorry.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6.
Yeah.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So my people are a sack of dry bones because what?
A lack of knowledge.
Read.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
We did what?
Rejected knowledge.
Read.
I will also reject thee.
Read.
That thou shalt be no priest to me.
You see that? Because you know why the Most High said we were going to be a priest to him? Because that was supposed to be our function. We were supposed to be a nation of priests and kings. But he said, you reject knowledge, I'm going to reject you. You ain't going to be no priest. You're going to be a sack of dry bones, roaming through America, getting beat up, getting raped spiritually and physically. Because that's what's happening to our people. It's a spiritual rape, man. You got to see it. It's a psychological castration. It's a psychological rape. You got to see it. You got to see what they do with the TV, with the food. I mean, we talk about it all the time. If they can't get you physically, they're going to get you mentally. If they can't get you, they're going to get your offspring. They're going to get your kids. Because they're going to keep you in this cycle where you got to go to a 9 to 5 and you got to be there. And you got to be stuck in traffic. And then your kids got to be stuck on their own. Stuck to the TV. You see that? And it's just this cycle. Every, 5 days out the week, you got to go to work? On the weekends, you too tired to do anything with your kids? You too tired to even get up and make them a bowl of cereal? They got to learn how to make their own breakfast at 3?
Right.
You see that?
You got it.
Yeah, you can do. You got it. No quart of milk. You see that? Read on.
Seest thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
They did what?
See, thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
Mm-hmm.
I will also forget thy children.
See that? So since we forgot the law of the Most High, we forgot the covenant. The Most High said, I'm going to forget your children. From there, go to Proverbs 21:16. Anybody got any questions so far?
Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16.
On the topic?
Nah.
La.
Proverbs 21:16.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
So these dry bones did what?
Remain in the congregation of the dead.
And they wandered out of the way of understanding. These people, they left the law of the Most High. They rejected the wisdom and knowledge of what the Most High was trying to give them. And it said so the man that wanders out of the way of understanding does what?
Remaining from the congregation of the dead.
Yeah. See, this is where you get them very dry bones. They were so dry, they just look dead, like zombies, man. You see that?
Done.
Go to Psalm 73 and verse 27.
Psalm chapter 73 and verse 7.
27.
Oh, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish.
You see that? They that are far from thee shall perish. How do you go far from the Most High? Anybody?
You vary off from your own wisdom.
Yeah. But what do you leave off from?
His covenant, his word.
Yeah, the laws, right? Because it's all based on the law. How do we get close to the Most High? By keeping the law, right? That's why the nations know that the more they keep us breaking the law, the further and further we get from the Father. The further and further that connection is broken. You see that? But our job is to try to keep the law to the best of our ability so we can get back that spiritual connection with the Most High. See, this also goes into, you see, when you ask that question in Romans 11 and 11, when they talked about the stumbling block, this has a little bit to do with it. Because we were given something, we didn't keep it, and then the nations, they got it. I mean, they didn't keep it even. But it was for a purpose. It was to bring us back to the Most High. It wasn't really for them to get salvation. It was for us to be provoked to jealousy.
For us to look at them and say, wait a minute,
Yeah.
you're going to choose them over
Over
us?
us? Right.
You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to make you jealous.
Right. That was it. That was the main purpose, was to always bring us back to the Most High. Bring us back into the way of understanding. Read on.
Thou hast destroyed them all that go a-whoring from thee.
You see that? Was that it on 27?
Done.
Most High said he destroyed everybody that went a-whoring from him.
Yeah.
You see that? Because he made us for a purpose. He wanted us to do certain things. There's things that we have to do to please him.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't pleasing the Most High. A tree that bring forth not fruit,
It's hewn down.
hewn down and cast in the
Cast in
fire. You see that? So you ain't doing your purpose for lo. This is the whole purpose of man, that we keep the commandments. You see that? So when you're not fulfilling your purpose as a people, you're gonna go into captivity. Lo, my people have gone into captivity because they have no knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? So it's all these different things. I mean, you can look at this Ezekiel. You can really look at it. I mean, if you want to put a timeline to it, you could. You can start it at a certain time in history and say, damn, okay. And link it right with Deuteronomy 28. You see that? And go right into the slavery. And then as we go on into it, we're going to see the slavery, then our gaining the wisdom again, our uprising. You see that? It's basically giving you the whole history of Israel in one chapter of how we fell off and trying to get back on, or and are trying to get back on. So you finished with that. You finished with that Psalms.
Come.
Go to Baruch chapter 3 and verse 4 in the Apocrypha. Baruch 3 and 4. Y'all with me so far?
Come.
Sisters, y'all with me? Yeah, online, if y'all got any questions on the topic, go ahead and shoot them on. Y'all good? Go ahead. What you got? Baruch 3 and 4?
Yes, sir. O Lord, Almighty,
Mm-hmm.
thou God of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites.
Okay, so it said hear the prayers of the dead Israelites. Why were these Israelites dead? Read.
And of their children.
Mm-hmm. And of their who?
Children.
Read.
Which have sinned before thee.
They did what?
Sinned before thee.
Yeah, you see that? These Israelites are dead because they sinned before the Most High. They wandered out of the way of the Most High. You see that?
Come.
They wandered into the way of the ungodly. They didn't want to keep the statutes, laws, and commandments. The law, statutes, and commandments. They wanted to transgress against the Most High. So it said they're what? The dead what?
Of the dead, of the dead Israelites and of their children.
See, even their children died because they didn't want to keep the law. The parents are doing something. More likely, the kids are going to follow suit.
Come.
It's that example. So no matter what the example is, whether it be good or bad, the kids more than likely are going to try to follow that example. I always use the example of my son, Noah. That dude tries to emulate every single thing I do. The other day he was, what did he say the other day? He said, Dad, Mom's going to go to the store and buy me a beard. I was like, okay. He thinks that you just go buy a beard in the store. I'm like, hey, if it was that easy, I'd go buy you a beard, son. You know, he thinks that he can just go buy a beard. He wants to wear his fringes. He wants to pray. He wants to do all these things. But imagine if I was just sitting there rolling blunts and playing video games all day. That's what he would do. He would be proficient in blunt rolling, video games, and talking crap. You see that? Because it's the example. So it said that the dead Israelites and their children, because they did what?
Sin before thee.
Read.
And not hearken unto the voice of their God.
Yeah, they didn't hearken unto the voice of the Most High, man. They wandered into the congregation of the dead. You see that? Go back to Ezekiel, where you left off.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm. No, I got verse 5.
3. Verse 3.
Okay.
Say comment if you have it.
Come.
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
So listen, Most High asks, the angel asks Ezekiel, can these bones live?
And it goes right back to that Romans.
Romans
where he says, is Israel cast
is
off?
Right.
11:1.
Yeah.
Right.
This is what I was thinking about the whole time that question came out. I was like, this goes right into the class.
Yeah.
But yeah. Did he say has the Most High forsaken his people that he foreknew? God forbid. So he's asking the question, can these bones live? Can these people come back?
I mean, I guess that's all the question we all ask. When you look at Israel, when you look at the inconsistency of the black man, when you look at like being in the truth, and then how many people get it and fall off, like you're like, dang, is
Christ ever gonna come back?
Yeah, you're like, the 144,000 is like, dude.
Been to get 5 brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
You gotta really think about it. You gotta really. I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, with so many people that have heard this truth, and we ain't got 144,000 sealed.
And not saying we were gonna be the only camp that get the.
Definitely not us. That's
Just
what
to
I'm
get
saying.
that out there.
And I'm talking about people around the world that has heard this truth.
Yeah.
Israelites, men, women, children, around the world, different camps that have heard the truth, and we still don't have 144,000 sealed. Sometimes it's like
one third.
Or 1/3. Excuse me.
1/3 of Israel.
1/3 of Israel.
Because 144,000 is a government
body. Yeah. So even 1/3.
The 1/3.
It's like either Israel is super big as hell and we just don't get it, or we really just ain't getting it. What's up?
Oh, I was trying to hear. You said the 144. That's the governing.
That's the governing body. Yeah.
Men or
Men.
Men.
Yeah.
just men, right?
Just
Okay.
men. Yeah.
Yeah. So where you at?
This is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 4.
Read verse 3 again.
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
All right, so it was a question posed. Can these bones live? Can these people be taught? Can they be restored back to health?
And
Read.
I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest.
Right. Ezekiel was like, only you know. Because I don't see it.
Right.
Like, they are destroyed. Like, he said, these people is jacked up. He said, but you know. Because Ezekiel, I don't think he was feeling it. He was just like, "Ugh, I don't know, man. This cast is off. You see that? Read on.
Verse 4. Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones.
Right. So the angel told Ezekiel, prophesy to the bones. You're going to have to put in some work.
Labors.
You're going to have to be teaching these bones. You got to prophesy to these bones. Day and night. You're going to have to teach these fools.
Yeah, think about a person that's malnourished, you know, and been on meth all their life, you know, and they're finally trying to get their mind right, but they done smoked their teeth away, their thumbs are gone, smoked those away, you know, their faces, they look like a zombie. You got to think about how much work it's going to take to nourish them back to health. Yeah.
No, think about a person think about an actual, forget about the drug part.
Yeah.
Think about an actual malnourished person. You can't even feed them solids for a time. They have to get reacclimated to just having food in their stomach. So they got to start off with liquid.
There you go.
The milk. No, really, if you give a person solid food after not eating, it's like if you hit a fast.
Yeah. And then you a month fast and go eat a burger.
You'll die. Your system will shut down, like literally.
Like what we did for the high holy day.
Wow.
A lot of us were eating right. You know,
Yeah.
let me stop.
What we consider
what
right.
we consider eating right.
We know our bodies.
Yeah, we know our bodies, and we were, you know, not consuming a lot of grease and meat and saturated foods and
Processed.
you know, high fructose and all that, right? Then you go on the feast and you just start pumping everything in. That's why it's like everybody's almost sick now.
All the strange meats, all the meats of the feasts.
Yeah. But like you said, you have to.
You got to nourish them to health slowly.
Yeah, that's why it says they're babes.
They're babes.
Give them the milk.
Give them the milk. It's no different than what it said in Isaiah. You got to feed a babe with milk. But he said, prophesy to these bones. You got to teach these bones. You got to spend time. You have to put in some work. You see that? So that's why, bringing it back to this day and age, go to Isaiah 58 and 1. Isaiah 58 and 1.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1.
I'll show you that. Dang, not that topic though. Go ahead, read it.
Cry aloud.
Do what?
Cry aloud.
Read.
Spare not.
Read.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
So this was the Most High was commanding us, man. He said, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. But why?
And shew my people their transgressions.
Yeah. We got to show our people, we got to show these dry bones their faults and their transgressions and where they're off. You see that? We got to do it in a way where they get it, where they hear us. Cry aloud. Spare not. We can't spare your feelings. Because you feel a certain way about the Bible and we telling you, no, this is what the Bible says, but you want to go off of what you think or what you believe or how you feel. Right. No. We're not dealing with that. We ain't going to spare your feelings. We ain't going to spare nobody to hear this word. Read on.
And the house of Jacob their sins.
Right. Read that. So this was when the Most High told Ezekiel, prophesy to the bones. The reason why they had to be taught was to show this is where you're going off at. This is what you're doing wrong. This is how you get back right. From there, go to Isaiah 52 and verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 1.
Read.
Awake, awake.
Do what?
Awake, awake.
Sleep, sleep.
Awake, awake.
Keep being dry.
Awake, awake.
Nah, just chill on your couch.
Awake, awake.
Read.
Put on thy strength.
Put on thy what?
Thy strength.
You got to get nourished. You got to get this nourishment. That's the strength. It says wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and the strength of your salvation. You see that? So he said, awake, awake, read.
Put on thy strength, O Zion.
Read.
Put on thy beautiful garments.
Yeah, the Most High was saying, put on your beautiful garments, man. Wake the hell up. Get out of this dry mind state. Get out of the wickedness. Get out of the homosexuality.
Right.
This is what he was telling Ezekiel when he told him, prophesy to the bones. Get them up out of this evil condition. Get them out of the slavery. Get them out of the mindset of being dependent on everything else around them. That's another thing with our people. If it ain't homosexuality and slavery to a job, it's dependency on the government. Yeah. Welfare system. Those are the three things that plague our people, man. You don't want to work, so you're just going to sit around the house collecting welfare. He said, awake, awake, put on thy beautiful garments. Read.
O Jerusalem, the holy city.
Read.
For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
That's it on that. Oh, what's up?
And that's about to get cut short because, you know, a lot of our people, they like to smoke a little weed.
Yeah.
And now they're about to start doing random drug tests.
Random drug, you can't be, you
welfare.
can't be. Yeah, you can't be on drugs on welfare.
Oh, God, it's coming down the pipeline.
Oh, yeah, you can't be on drugs on welfare. Bro, they P test you.
It's over.
You out of there. They cut them benefits, man.
Okay.
They find any way not
That's
to give
good,
money.
though. You know why? Because it's pushing our people to get their ass together.
Yeah, stop. Awake, awake.
See, yeah, Esau's, like the scripture says, iron and clay and iron. Like their own things that they use to, because they're not using that because they give a damn. They're using that because more they can cut more off people and trotting down on the poor.
Right.
But that's going to be the turnaround. Because now you got these people that they going to have to run towards something that's wisdom, that's going to guide them, that's going to build them, that's going to get them that cash, that money, that dough. Right?
Right.
But they're going to bump into you. They're going to bump into that Israelite man or woman, and you're going to lead them to the Most High. And show them that it ain't about that.
Ain't about that.
But yeah, it's wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Go back to Ezekiel. Where you left off. What was that? Ezekiel what? 37 and what?
That was Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 5.
Read verse 5.
Verse 5. Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones.
Right.
Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you.
So the Most High said, I'm going to cause breath to enter into you. So from our previous classes, the Genesis breakdown, what is this breath talking about? And just from class, everybody in here should know that. What is the breath? Go ahead, Zainal.
The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High.
Right. He said, I'm going to cause wisdom to enter into you. I will cause breath, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because these bones weren't dead. They were just dry. They were lacking wisdom. Most High said, I'm going to put the wisdom in you.
They had a question on it. When the 144 are sealed, will there be other Israelites on earth? Yeah, of course. Remember, the sealing, according to Revelation 7, was before the destruction happens. This sealing process is happening now. That the righteous are being sealed. Or Ezekiel said, put a mark on their forehead. That sigh and cry for all the abominations done in the midst thereof. That's happening now. The knowledge is being entered into our brain now. We're being chosen, or really the chosen are being awoken. So, yeah, that's gonna be. It's now. This is happening. It's happening right now. So, yes, all the Israelites will be there. Go ahead.
Go to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. So we're going to go into the breath. What is the breath? And we've been through it.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 7.
But we're going to go into it. Genesis 2 and 7.
If you say con whenever you have it. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7.
Read.
The Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground.
All right, so the Most High took man, when it says the dust of the ground, it's saying he took man from a low estate. The dust of the ground, it represents a low estate. So you want to write that in your notes because that's very important. And this also goes to Genesis 2, Genesis 1, Genesis 3 breakdown. So that ground represents a low estate. So he said he took man from a low estate, read.
And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
And he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. What did he breathe into him? When it says the breath of life.
Knowledge, wisdom.
Right. So where do we go for that? Who got it? Give me Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 1. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 and verse 1.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 and verse 1.
No, let's go. I got one.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 verse 1. Wisdom reaches from one end to another.
Wisdom does what?
Wisdom reaches from one end to another.
So this is talking about wisdom. So it's telling you wisdom basically goes where it wants. It reaches from one end to another. Read.
Mightily.
Mightily. With might. It's powerful. Read.
And sweetly doeth she order all things.
No, go ahead.
And what?
Sweetly doeth she order all things.
So wisdom orders everything. Everything is orchestrated by wisdom. There's wisdom that creates everything. You see that?
God.
From there, go to Wisdom of Solomon 7 and verse 22.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
For wisdom, which is the worker of all things.
She's the what?
Worker of all things.
Just some things.
Worker of all things.
Just a little bit of things.
Of all things.
Read.
Taught me.
It did what?
Taught me.
Right. It's the same way when it said he breathed the breath into Adam. That's what taught Adam. That's what gave Adam the dominion. That was the breath that he was going to breathe into these dry bones to wake these dry bones up.
God.
So it said wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. Read.
For in her is an understanding spirit.
Read. So with wisdom, you're supposed to understand things. You're supposed to comprehend things in few words. You're supposed to see a situation and understand what's going on quickly if you're using the right wisdom. Read.
Holy.
It's holy. Wisdom is the wisdom of the Most High is separate from all other wisdoms. It's pure, it's clean. Read.
One only.
One only. It's a one-track mind. But also read. It has what?
Manifold.
But it's manifold. It got levels. It has a focus. But there's also levels. With wisdom, you can compartmentalize things. But you can also have that one-track mind. You see that? Read.
Subtile.
It's subtile. You got to use the wisdom to get into some places that normally you wouldn't get into if you were just using your own understanding. But with a little bit of wisdom from the Most High, you can do it. You can do anything. Read.
Lively.
Lively. Supposed to be alive when you get the wisdom. It's the spirit that quickeneth, right? St. John 17:17. Read.
Clear.
Clear. There's clarity. The Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So when you have the wisdom, there shouldn't be any confusion. Why am I doing this? I don't know why man, why these brothers got me working at the oil cart. Why they got me doing this? Why we got to do this at this time? 8 days of feasting. I don't want to. Why we got to do that? But when you got the wisdom, you see why it's important to gather together. You see why it's important to rehearse the righteous acts. Read.
Undefiled.
Undefiled. There's nothing defiled in the wisdom of the Most High. No different when you got these brothers talking about it's okay to sodomize your rib. That's defiled. That's defiled. Where's the wisdom in that? Read.
Plain.
It's plain. It's easy to understand. The simplicity in Christ. Right?
Con.
Read.
Not subject to hurt.
Right. Shouldn't be thinking that brothers is out to hurt because they tell you, because you get checked, or they tell you to go do this or go do that. Hey, can you run to the store for me real quick, bro? There shouldn't be no hurt in that. Oh, you trying to run my life. You trying to ruin me. Read.
Loving the things that is good.
Right. When you got the wisdom, you're going to love the things that are good. Read.
Quick.
Jump down to verse 25.
Verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
For she is the breath of the power of God.
For she's the what?
The breath of the power of God.
Going back to Genesis 2 and 7. It says that's the breath that was breathed, and breathed into his nostrils, the breath of life. So wisdom is the breath of the power of God. Read.
And a pure influence following from the glory of the Almighty.
And this is the influence. This is the things that when the Most High said he was going to breathe breath into the bones, he was going to be their influence. Like how he should be our influence. Like how he was Adam's influence. David, he said, I was a beast before thee. But then when he got the wisdom, now he was influenced by the Most High. You see that? So the wisdom, the breath is the wisdom which influences us to have all these attributes. The understanding, the one only, the manifold, the subtlety, the livelihood, the clarity, being undefiled. These are the things that should influence us. This is what the wisdom does. Read.
Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her.
You see that? Nothing defiled is going to come to wisdom if you got the wisdom of the Most High. So that's what the breath, so you can write down the breath equals the wisdom. From there, 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 61. 2nd Ezra in the Apocrypha, 16 and verse 61.
2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 61.
We'll get there real quick. 16. Read.
He made man and put his heart in the midst of the body.
You see that? So the Most High, it says, is giving you a little bit of what the Most High did. He made man, and he gave him a heart. But what does a heart do? What does your heart do? Does it think for you? How do we know that?
It's an organ. It pumps the blood through the body.
Right. That's all the heart does. What is it? Jeremiah 17 and 9. The heart is desperately wicked and deceitful above all things. Your heart don't. We know it's not talking about the organ in the midst of your chest. And this is how we know. Read on.
Put his heart in the midst of the body and gave him breath.
Wait, and he did what?
Gave him breath.
So it says, and gave him breath. To do what? Read.
Life and understanding.
You see that? So it said, and gave him breath. Showing you that the heart don't think for you. That your heart's not your wisdom. Follow your heart. No, that's BS.
Right.
Follow your heart and you don't get nowhere. You just follow an emotion. So he said he put the heart in the midst of his body to pump that blood around, but he also gave him the breath. He gave him wisdom separate. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is separate from your organ that pumps blood. For all those out there, the Bible, when it speaks symbolically of the heart, it's talking about the mind. It's not talking about the thing that pumps the blood around your body. You see that? So it said he gave him breath, life, and understanding. He gave him wisdom, life, and understanding. The breath was that wisdom. From there, go to Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. So when it talks about the wisdom, it's talking about something specific. Because what is the wisdom? Read.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 1.
Read.
This is the book of the commandments of God.
Read.
The law that endureth forever.
It's supposed to do what?
Endureth forever.
Read.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
You're going to do what?
Shall come to life.
So if those bones would have kept the law, they would have did what?
Come to life.
When the Most High said he was going to told Ezekiel to prophesy to the bones, they should have did what?
Come to life.
Right. Keep the law, basically. They were supposed to start keeping the law. And they would have came to life. When the Most High said, I'm going to breathe breathe the breath into these bones and they'll come to life? He said, I'm going to give y'all the wisdom. I'm going to give y'all the law. I'm going to give y'all that covenant. And you're supposed to come to life. Read.
But such as leave it shall die.
Yeah, those that wander away from the Most High shall die. The congregation of the ungodly, you're going to die. From there. Y'all with me so far?
Sir.
Go to our First Chronicles 22 and 12. So we know that the breath is talking about the wisdom. The valley symbolizes America. The dry bones, obviously, is Israel. That's our people that are still joined with the nations, that are still joined in the thinking and the philosophy of the nations. Right? So we're breaking this chapter down and getting all these little symbolisms so we get the clear understanding of what this chapter is talking about. So read that, First Chronicles, chapter 12 and 22 and verse 12.
Only the Lord give thee wisdom and understanding.
So it says only the Most High. You're only supposed to get your wisdom from the Most High. Read.
And give thee charge concerning Israel.
Read.
That thou mayest keep the law of the Lord thy God.
Yeah, we're supposed to keep the laws of the Most High. Read.
Then shalt thou prosper.
Then what?
Then shalt thou prosper.
So we keep the law, and what's going to happen?
Thou shalt prosper.
Read.
If thou takest heed to fulfill the statutes and judgments which the Lord charged Moses with concerning Israel.
So we're supposed to take heed to keep the law that the Most High laid down. We're supposed to take heed to what Moses did and brought to the people. You see that?
He got another one on there. So the 144 will be brothers that we follow and will lead us out of here. The 144 are going to be the righteous, are going to be the chosen, and are going to be the leaders. Yes. So they're going to be men. If that's the question you're asking. So the 144 will be brothers that we follow and will lead us out of here. Yeah, the 144. Who else? Think about it. They're going to be men. Well, when you go back to Revelations, the 7th chapter, it says 12,000 out of every tribe. Right? So, but we know that though. Let me bring this back. We know that those men are going to be under Christ. So let's put it back in perspective. That these are. Remember, without taking this class way off, it said these are they that follow Christ whatsoever he goeth. So then you go back to Matthew 25, I think it is, and or somewhere in Matthew's in the gospel it said, you shall sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So he set the apostles there, right, under the order of Christ. Then under that we know you got this 144,000. Right? So, it's going to be men leading you. All right? So go ahead and jump back.
Finish that Chronicles.
Verse 13. Last precept, verse 12. That thou mayest keep the law of the Lord thy God. Then thou shalt prosper if thou takest heed to fulfill the statutes and judgments which the Lord charged Moses with concerning Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Be strong and of good courage. Dread not nor dismay.
Or be dismayed, right. From there, go to Ecclesiastes 11 and 15.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 15.
So we're basically getting the breakdown of this Ezekiel 33 and showing that what the valley represents, and that in keeping the law, this is how we come back to that health. This is when he asks the question, can these bones live? This is how the bones were going to live. if they kept the law, if they got the wisdom from the Most High. So read that, Ecclesiasticus 11 and 15.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord.
Read.
Love and the way of good works are from him.
You see that?
Come.
So wisdom and knowledge and understanding are of the Most High. That's the breath that he was going to breathe into these bones. From there, go back to Ezekiel 37 and verse 6.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 6.
Ezekiel 37 and 6. Go ahead.
And I will lay sinews upon you.
So somebody look up that word sinews. This represented something also. Somebody look up the word sinews. S-I-N-E-W-S.
I'm deep on this one now.
Sinews. Who got it? Most High said he was going to lay sinews on us.
What you got, sis?
A piece of tough, fibrous tissue uniting muscles to bone.
Okay, anything else?
A tendon or ligament.
Right, a tendon or a ligament. So you gotta look at it. We're dealing with this valley of dry bones, right? We're dealing with all this dry bones. The Most High said, and it's not really bones, it's people. He said, I'm going to lay sinews upon you. So these sinews were it was a representation of something, right?
That's crazy.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is?
That's hell. Well, from what I said, muscle and tendon. So obviously,
Yeah, it holds together. So basically,
bringing the body together.
bringing the body together. But what are the sinews that were supposed to bring the body together?
The leadership.
What would the leadership use?
Yeah.
Oh.
There it is. So read that again.
This
What's deep about that is, wow, that's deeper than we're looking at it, because really what it comes back down to is those two greatest things. That love the Most High with all thy soul and all that might. The law.
The law.
Right? Because we know it's the Bible, right?
Yeah.
But
It's the law.
when you go in, it's the law and
The love for your brother.
the love for your brother. Those are the only thing that's going to get these bones together.
And
You know,
can't
because
have one without the other.
brotherhood.
And you can't have one without the other.
You can't have one without the other.
Because look at it like this. So basically, you can write this down. The sinews equal the law.
Damn.
That should have brought us together and brought us closer to the Most High. That's what the sinews represent.
Right.
Because don't look at the bones as, that's what the sinews represent. It was the law that was supposed to bring us together
Yeah.
and bring us closer to the Most High.
Right.
And you got to remember, it is dope what you just said.
Yeah.
Two greatest commandments. You
Yeah.
can't have one without the other. And just to show you through history with our people. Well, no, you got to look at.
Ooh.
Let's look at.
Drop it.
Let's look at like the '60s. Let's look at like Martin Luther King. Let's look at Black Panthers.
Right.
Right. We started waking up knowledge wise. We started getting conscious. Right. So the bones start getting these sinews. We started getting the love for our brother, but what did we lack?
The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High.
Right. So what happened?
Got destroyed.
The bones never really fully came together.
Right.
That's the thing.
So we had this
one
black
part,
power.
Black power, brown pride.
But we didn't have the laws.
We didn't have the law to back it up.
Nowadays we got the law of the Most High.
We hate each other.
But we don't got brotherhood.
We hate each other. It's backwards.
That's why he said you will know, they will know you because you will love each other as I love.
I love the church.
Yeah.
But you see that? I mean, you gotta look
Man,
at all these movements that Israel has been through. Black Panthers, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Bloods and Crips. Those were positive movements at one time.
Yeah, that's true.
Command all these different movements, but the one thing they lacked was the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. They love the fact that we can get together, black power, brown pride, but they lack the wisdom and knowledge. You see that?
Dang.
So go to
What's up, sis?
I wanted to know what was he saying? He said, but the sinew is.
Oh, the sinews, what they represent? The sinews. Oh, what the actual definition is?
Not the definition,
Oh,
what you were saying.
yeah, it's the sinews basically equal the law. The sinews equal the law. And then what the sinews should have done was they should have brought us together and brought us closer to the Most High. I basically said the same thing you said.
Yeah, it's the same thing, yeah.
You see that? So that's what the sinews represented, what they should have done. They should have brought us closer together and brought us closer to the Most High.
It's just analogy, huh?
No, and you know what's dope? You gotta read verse. You get it, Double Shy? You gotta read verse 37 or verse 7.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
So I prophesied as I was commanded.
Uh-huh.
And as I prophesied, there was a noise.
Stop. You say where it said and there was a noise?
Come.
That was our people waking up.
Come.
That was us coming.
Commotion.
That was the commotion that we were making.
Right.
Let's go march. Let's go riot. Let's go do this. Let's go march. Let's go do this. That was the noise. The bones start making the noise. But those sinews, we didn't have the wisdom. So what should have happened was we were supposed to put on the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. We were supposed to, even when the Most High said, I'm going to breathe the knowledge into these bones and they're going to live, we still rejected the knowledge at some point. Because there was a noise, there was a rumbling, right? We was rising, black power. You know, Black Panthers, we had all, Huey P. Newton, all these Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, we had all these leaders, right, at the time, especially at that time. It was going down. I mean, bro, you would have thought we could have owned the world at that time with all the revolutionists that we had and all the power we had and the great minds and brains that we had. But they all lacked one thing.
They were divided.
They were divided
Through wisdom.
Through their own wisdom.
Even now.
Yeah, even now.
Conscious community.
Yeah.
The conscious community. You got that cycle coming back around.
Yeah. But now it's even worse because of the internet.
So much.
Yeah.
Oh man, the internet just makes it even. It's not even that it's worse. It's just it seems like it's more amplified. It's the same. It ain't no different.
I think
Less
so
people,
too,
less people marching and more people typing. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yeah.
But it says there was a noise. Read.
And behold, a spark or shaking.
Behold, a shaking. So we was marching and doing all that. Read.
And the bones came together.
Read.
Bone to his bone.
Yeah. So we came together. We realized, like, man, let's stop fighting each other. We have a common enemy. Let's seek out that enemy. Let's march against that enemy. Brown, Latinos, we stopped fighting. We stopped doing that. Right? We started joining together. But we didn't do it with the wisdom. Read.
And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them.
Right. So when he said he breathed that knowledge into it, that breath into us for us to live, some of us woke up, right? And was like, damn, I gotta start keeping the law. Damn, this is my true nationality, that flesh. This is my true nationality. It wasn't just like skin, like, oh, here goes your skin. No. The flesh was that nationality. Knowing who you were. Some of us knew we were Israelites. You see that? But then some of us were wrong in thinking that, let's go back to Africa. Marcus Garvey movement. You see that? Read on.
And the skin covered them above.
Right, and the skin, that was the law. It covered them. It was supposed to, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to, but we rejected the law. We rejected
Right,
the
because you're talking about why it didn't happen back then. But
then.
as we see the prophecy, it's going to happen.
It's gonna happen, right?
Because this was the prophecy. Can we have that brotherhood?
Right.
Can we all come and be joined together in one mind and one judgment? Yeah, it's going to happen. The Most High He's going to do something that drives us together and unify us.
We have no choice.
Where we have no choice.
Because then, let's see what happened. Let's see what happened back then. But hold on. Oh no, read on. Keep reading.
But there was no breath in them.
You see that? There was no wisdom. He put all this knowledge out there. The Most High put all this knowledge. All the Bible is now revealed. You're the Israelite. Keep the law. Do this. But there was no wisdom. We didn't want to do it. You see that? We had all these leaders. I mean, I'm sure they all knew. I'm sure a lot of them all leaders. You even had like Malcolm X. They said that he got killed because he was waking up. But there was a point where he wasn't dealing with the Bible. He was dealing with by any means necessary. Right? So it said we had the covering, the law, we had our nationality, but we had no wisdom. This is what happened though. Go to Isaiah 30 and verse 1. Instead of putting on the covering of the Most High, this is what we did.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1.
Go to,
It's not powerful. This is just a second.
read that, Isaiah. So instead of when we came together, we got the skins, the nationality, we got the law, we got all this stuff from the Most High, right? Mm-hmm. But it said we had no wisdom. This is what we did. Read.
Woe to the rebellious children.
Read.
Said the Lord.
Read.
Take the counsel.
Take counsel. Read.
But not of me.
So we didn't take the counsel of the Most High. We went to everything else. Right. We went to Egyptology. We want to be Africans. The motherland is Africa. We did all these other things.
I like what you're doing because you're showing how you're going over the breakdown, but showing why the bones didn't live before.
Right.
Like in these instances in time, in periods in history, where we could have became powerful, and it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. You see that? What was up?
And I'm thinking, whenever we come together now, right, conscious community, even back then probably, but the first thing that they try to say to obviously the ones that hold the standard of the Bible, let's put down the book.
Yeah.
Let's put down the book.
Because they know that's our power.
God.
And that's where they get the power.
Man, dang, I gotta say it again. That's why the sinews, man, was the most important part. Because as we came together, as we're coming together now, like, what's one thing that everybody has in common and doesn't have in common? You either believe in the scriptures, right? You might have that in common.
Right.
But you hate on your brother.
Right, you missing a part.
Yeah, you missing a part. Like, it's common for niggas to hate.
Yeah.
It's just common. It's like,
it's
like I was reading one of our pages the other day, and this nigga just got on here and just he didn't even believe in what we were talking about. He didn't believe in the Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To hate.
But it was just in him to hate. And that's why, you know what? With the Most High showing me what you're going over is like, we gotta watch on how you just hate because of ignorance. You know what I mean? You hate because they're ignorant and not understand that the Most High don't deal with us like that.
Right.
See, because that's how we do. We translate that, the wisdom we have, and we start looking at everybody like, it almost like you see a retarded kid and you just yell at him, you a dumb mother. Right. Like, you stupid. Right. Like, nobody will really do that.
It's almost like...
But that's what we do, though.
Yeah.
Where if you don't watch yourself, you start looking at him, and you like, are you that dumb? Like, you're dumb as hell.
I can see that.
Yeah, you got to be careful because that's where this hate comes from. Us rationalizing like you're just stupid as hell, and then what settles in you, it's like, you know what? I don't like you. Why? Because you're dumb.
Yeah, you don't get it.
You know what I mean? And that's where that hate is built. And because as he was saying that on the thing, I'm like, that hate is being built in me. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at him like, damn, these 2/3 niggas got to be put to death. Right? But listen, here's the thing though. Which one has more power? Like, damn, these cats got to be woken up, or, you know, how just kill everybody. Well, look at it at a scripture standpoint. What did Moses do? You see that? What did Moses do? No, I'm talking about Moses. When he was on the mount, and all Israelites were down there doing wickedness, did he come back and be like, you know what? It's 2/3 of these niggas, Yahweh, they got to be put to death. Put them all to death, Yahweh. Yeah, he didn't do that. He said, no.
Yeah.
He stood in the way. But you start to that's why you have to watch. That's why I said it's deep. It's deep. It just got me going into my brain on that, because that hate is what keeps us from giving, from caring about our brother, from really, you just go out in the streets and you start preaching. Why they say we preach hate? Because that's the motive. It's almost like you're not even really there to save your brother or love them. It's almost like just to show them you ain't shit. You know what I mean?
It's almost like knowledge breeds. It's almost like knowledge breeds hate. Like the more knowledge you get, if you don't corral it,
right?
You breed knowledge puffeth up.
Knowledge puffeth up.
But it puffs up into this hatred for. How come you don't know it?
Right. You don't know what I know.
Right.
So you a wicked nigga. You gonna be put to death.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying that the 2/3 ain't gonna be put to death, but still, when you look at the prophets and the apostles, and you look at these great men in the past, it said Abraham prayed for Sodom and Gomorrah. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So you're thinking about it like, what?
Even Jeremiah, he said, my wish is that all Israel could be saved.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They weren't like, oh, you know what? 2/3 of you niggas gotta die. Yeah. So you just don't get it. Instead of thinking the other way and saying, wait a minute, man, how can I get this brother to see it? Or let me pray for that cat. You know what I mean? It's
even here with Ezekiel, though. When the Most High said prophesy to the bones, he wasn't like, man, they off, they wicked, kill them.
Right.
He started teaching the bones.
Right.
You have to wake them up. It was him doing it. You see that? It's the same thing. Like, it's that same.
Damn. Even when he told him, he said into Isaiah, he said, Isaiah was like, I'm the only one left.
I'm the only one left. Yeah,
he was like, no, I have reserved 7,000 men.
Yeah.
Bring it back, kind of checking that mind of like, you know what? I'm the only righteous Israelite here. Where's everybody? The Most High go kill all y'all, and I'm gonna be good. It's like, nah, that's
that mind.
You can start seeing how righteously we don't supposed to think like that, because it's those two things that's gonna bring us back together to the Most High. He said, no greater love than a man has that he lay down his life for his brethren. Israel, we think like, well, my brothers is who do the commandments. Right. But at the same time, like the scriptures say, did Moses say, you know what? Well, that's 2/3 of you niggas.
The Bible actually says your brother is a man that's a Hebrew.
There you go.
It says it doesn't distinguish wicked or righteous. It says a man that is a Hebrew is thy brother.
Mm. Yeah, it just hit me on that point, man, because it's deep. It's deep because you can see why we got so much hate. We like everybody has a reason to hate another person, and it's substantiated. It's substantiated, through ignorance, yes, or through knowledge too.
It shows why we don't build nothing. It shows why it's so hard for us to build.
Right.
Because of the fact that there's these two things that is a 50-50. Either you're going to lean this way or you're going to lean this way.
Right.
Either you're not going to do the commandments or you're going to hate your brother.
You're going to hate your brother, yeah.
Right, because you got the people that don't believe in the Bible.
For no reason. I don't know you, but I dislike you.
Right.
That's why you said, I just don't like him. Like, you don't even know him. Like, the nigga, you ever heard that? They said about Drake? It's like, I don't like Drake. Like, you don't know Drake. You don't know what we know what he's doing is not right. I'm just saying that the mindset that comes with it. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't like that nigga. Like, you roll with him, right, and you knew.
And he offended you?
He offended you. It's like, no.
So you got personal beef with you?
It's all I'm saying is this. It's a mind state we really have to watch, because hate breeds hate.
Yeah, it breeds ignorance, man. Go back to that Isaiah.
Cats don't understand.
What's that?
I guess it's almost like in Ecclesiastes when it says, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not, one man among 1,000 have I found. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I guess impatience in what y'all was saying about being caught up in that pride, about damn, y'all don't understand this kind. But obviously he was saying he found one man out of 1,000. So it's like, we're going to go through that. Ain't nobody gonna be understanding.
Ain't nobody gonna be understanding. But even in that, when you look at, I was going over scriptures. It's just about the mercy, the Most High that gives the mercy to man. Like when you look at man, And when you look at a man in his youth, you're the most ignorant.
Con.
So, but then when you want to get older, then you want to become more conscious, and now you want to do things more conscious and righteous.
Con.
But you done did all this wickedness. You done did foolishness. But the Most High still is there, compassionate and long suffering with us through our youth. Right?
Con.
He said, "What is man, and that thou art mindful of man." Right? So, it just shows that the mercy and the compassion that we don't have, and how easily we can hate our own people. And it could just be based off, you don't think like me,
Con.
Yeah.
so I hate you.
You don't have what I have.
Yeah,
That's why it says the rich despise the poor. You don't have what I have.
right.
Even rich in knowledge, you don't have the knowledge that I have. So I gotta look down on you.
And I'm saying this based off the two greatest commandments.
Yeah.
If you want to be the lawgiver, the defender of the law, why is it so easy for you to hate on your brother? Why? Who are thou that judgest another man's servant? So you can let that hate imprint on you based off of what? That's not your servant. That's the Most High. You know what I mean? He's gonna deal with him.
It's not your job.
Yeah, it's not your job. It's almost like you can't take it personal.
Con.
You can't take it personal. It's like, okay, bro, because you know it's off. Because let's come back. We know it's off. We know it's not right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh Lord, I hate them that hate you with a perfect hatred, right?
Con.
But what did he hate?
The works.
Spirit, the works.
Con.
Mm-hmm.
The deeds.
Did he hate his brother?
Love.
I mean, yeah. What?
Oh, no, I was going to go back. Charity. Yeah, a lot of people use verses to try to justify really why they get agitated and start want to, basically hate their people. But when you look at it, calling down to charity, like in Corinthians 13.
Right.
A charity is above all.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think it's Romans 12:9, where it could be a fake love. That love be without
The simulation?
Yeah.
Simulation. Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Go ahead, Ike. I'm sorry.
Jump back. Hit that. Where you at? Isaiah 30:1. Read that. So instead of us coming together with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and with the brotherly love, this is what we did. Read.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord,
Read.
that take counsel, but not of me,
Read.
and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit,
Read.
that they may add sin to sin.
We add sin to sin. We didn't seek the Most High. We didn't seek His righteousness. We sought to do what we wanted to do. You see that? Go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11. This is an example. This is an example of what we did. This is an example of what we did, where we didn't put a covering of the Most High, but we added sin to sin. And this is why when we came together, back even in those times, 60s, 80s, 70s, everything fell. But even in the time of the Maccabees.
1 Maccabees chapter
Read.
1 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men,
Read.
who pursued many, saying,
Mm-hmm.
let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Let us do what?
Make a covenant with the heathen.
Yeah, so these Israelites, even in the time when these bones were supposed to be joining, they decided they want to go be attached to the heathen.
God.
Read.
That are round about us.
Read.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Right. So they had this ill thought in their mind that, man, we since the Most High have been lifting us up and building us up, we're not prospering the same way.
God.
No, you're prospering better, but you just don't look at things the correct way. So you have this misconception that the heathen was sustaining you in a better lifestyle.
God.
Read.
So this device pleased them well.
Read.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein
Mm-hmm.
that they went to the king,
Mm-hmm.
who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
See that? So even the king, they went to the king to get the okay to do wicked, to follow the heathen.
God.
Read.
Verse 14. Whereupon they build a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen,
Right. Read.
and made themselves uncircumcised,
Read.
and forsook the holy covenant.
You see that? They basic was that? No, what were you gonna say?
Now, just the reason about that, that was actually a gym.
Yeah, the exercise. Yeah.
But they exercised naked, so
Yeah,
they had to
but yeah.
circumcise themselves.
Right.
At least they be
But
found.
but if you want to look at it spiritually,
Come.
we to be uncircumcised spiritually, because you can't uncircumcise flesh. It's already cut off. Unless they sew it back on. Unless they sewed it back on. They were doing that.
They were doing
that. They were doing that. Right, they were doing it. They were doing it. In this, they were actually physically sewing the foreskins back on, or sewing some skin back on. Probably wasn't the same. Yeah.
Because they worked out naked.
They worked out naked in the gym. Yeah. But spiritually, if you look at it, to be uncircumcised, this is when you go back, you backslide, you go out of the way of understanding. And that's what our people did. No matter how much the Most High was like, here's the law, here's the statutes, love your brother, love me. It was like, I'm gonna do it for a little bit and then fall back into the way of the heathen.
Right.
You see that? From there, keep reading.
And made themselves uncircumcised.
Read.
And forsook the holy covenant.
Read.
And joined themselves to the heathen. And were sold to do mischief.
You see that? So that's the problem with our people. That was the problem with the people back in Ezekiel. The Most High was trying to build them up, build these bones. The bones start rattling and making noise. But they just didn't want to do what the Most High said. We always wanted to be joined to the heathen. We want to be joined to the valley. You see that? From there, go to so we know that's what happened. This is what should have happened. Go to Isaiah 44 and verse 3. This is what should have happened if we would have just kept to what the Most High wanted. If we would have just followed the law, followed the commandment. This is what would have happened. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 3. I will pour water upon them that is thirsty.
You see that? So the Most High was going to nourish the bones. Read.
And floods upon the dry ground.
You see that? So the water was the knowledge. He was going to let that knowledge flourish. Read.
I will pour my spirit upon thy seed.
And our children would prosper. Read.
And my blessing upon thine offspring.
Read.
And they shall spring up as among the grass.
Read.
And willows by the water's course.
Read.
One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob.
So and this is crazy too. Read on.
And another shall subscribe with his hands unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel.
You gotta see. Think about slavery. When we want to be joined to the heathen so much, and they threw us in, after a while they threw us in slavery, and what do? They gave us their names, right? You think you get the last names that you have? You see that? They gave us they surnamed us. But if we would have stuck to the Most High, we would have had the surname of Israel. We would have been called by the Most High's name, or what He wanted to call us. We wouldn't have the Donaldsons and the Hamptons, the Martinezes. We wouldn't have that. You see that? So that was one of the things that should have happened. But the main thing was we were supposed to separate ourselves. We were supposed to separate ourselves from the nations. Go to Psalms. Go to Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1. Got like a couple minutes, so.
Right, and listen, we're gonna, after a few minutes, we're gonna end class. If y'all got any other questions, shoot them now before we end class.
There was one more on here. I'm gonna hit this last scripture, and then there was one more on here. The dude, Terry Clark, wants to explain Genesis 25 and 30 and 34. What does the red pottage mean? That was from earlier. We didn't hit.
Oh, the red pottage? The red pottage was just a stew.
Yeah.
It was a stew, but pottage is just a stew, and the red in it was that he didn't let the meat cook. It was a stew with meat in it, and he didn't let the meat cook. So he was like, listen, forget it cooking, give it to me right there.
Yeah.
That same red pottage. That's why he's called red, because he wanted his meat red.
Who eats the rears?
Yeah.
I want my steak mooing.
Mooing?
I've heard that.
What is it called?
Mooing?
Oh.
I want to get my steak when it's mooing. Moo, it's damn near still alive.
I don't understand how people can like that, bro.
Yeah. It just looks disgusting.
They love blood.
I worked at a restaurant. They told me the dude said he just wanted to hit the grill and then
And
flip,
and then that's it.
That's it.
So you want a slight sear.
Flip.
Damn.
Put on the plate.
The animals, man, barbarians.
Bro, that means the meat came out the color of this.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where we at? Psalms 1 and 1.
Psalm chapter 1 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Right. So if we would have did what the Most High wanted, we would have been these bones. If they would have came together the way the Most High intended, they would have been blessed. They wouldn't have walked in the counsel of the ungodly. Read.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners.
Right. But since they wanted to be joined to the heathen, this is what was going on. They were in the way of the ungodly. They were in the counsel of sinners. Read.
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Right. Read.
But his delight is in the law of the Lord.
Right, this should have been our delight. Our delight should have been the law of the Most High. Read.
And in his law doth he meditate day and night.
And we should have been meditating therein day and night. You could throw Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8 as a precept. Meditate therein day and night. Read.
Verse 3. And he shall be like a plant planted by the rivers of water.
And he should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Think about a tree that's planted by rivers of water. What's going to happen with that tree? It's going to grow, but not just grow. It's like a damn super tree. Because it's got an unlimited supply of nourishment, nutrition. Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. That knowledge, that wisdom. That's how you grow. See, if these bones would have came together in Ezekiel the way the Most High wanted them to, and the way they should have, with the sinews, the love for your brother and the law, the love of the Most High, this would have been us. Not saying we can't do it now because we're striving to do that now. Read on.
Come. That bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
That's it on that one. I'm going to just hold it right there. I'm going to hold it right there.
Okay, do we got any questions online, sis? Anything?
There was one about casting lots, and if it's relevant today, I sent him the link from
The lots?
He answered that last week.
Okay. So yeah, casting lots is just talking about a form of gambling. That's all that was. So you can see we did that. One of the negative way they cast lots was for Christ's garment, but then also the apostles cast lots to choose a new apostle when Judas killed himself. Okay, so casting lots, and then we went over the scriptures on that too. But the lots, just a form of gambling, whether it be a drawing of straw, casting of a dice. We knew that the lot, when it is cast, the Most High chooses that lot.
Ooh, I actually got to let me hit this one last scripture.
Okay.
I got to hit this one last one. Man, I don't know how I skipped over this one. So I'll go to Nehemiah, chapter 9 and verse 2.
You got a lot more. You can finish it next.
Yeah, I just want to just.
Yeah.
And on this note.
Okay.
This is one of the things this is what we should have done when those bones were coming together. You know, they say the worst thing that ever happened to black people. What did they say the worst thing that ever happened to black people was?
That they read a book.
One of the worst things that ever happened to black people in this modern era.
Chicken?
Nah, man, segregation or desegregation.
Oh.
You see that? Because before desegregation, we had like Black Wall Street. We had
some type of unity.
Yeah, the only thing we lacked was a military and the Most High.
Right.
But we actually had some type of unification. So the thing with these bones, just looking at it from just a modern history standpoint, you know, one of the things that we should have did when these bones came together was stick together and stay segregated. So go to Nehemiah 9 and 2 real quick. Because this is one of the things that the Most High wanted from the beginning, when He separated the sons of Adam according to their inheritance, right? This is one of the things that the Most High wanted. So read that, Nehemiah 9 and 2.
Nehemiah 9 verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers.
They did what?
Separated themselves from all
So this is what we
strangers.
should have did. We should have separated ourselves from all strangers. Read.
And stood and confessed their sins.
Read.
And the iniquities of their fathers.
Right. So this is what these bones should have did. These are what the people should have did at that time in coming together. But instead, they wanted to riot. They wanted to march. They wanted to Bloods and Crips by any means necessary. Listen to Dr. Martin Luther King speeches, right? Read.
And they stood up in their places and read in the book of the law of the Lord their God 1/4 part of the day.
But that was the problem. We didn't pick up the book of the Most High. We picked up everything else. We picked up guns. We picked up all these things that didn't matter, that weren't going to help us. You see that? But if we would have did this, then we would have been prosperous. Read on.
And another 4th part they confessed.
Read.
And worship the Lord their God.
All right, that's it on that. So I just want to throw that little scripture in there.
What other questions we got on there? Real quick before we close it out.
We ain't got nothing on
No? I thought you said we had some.
Nothing on topic, everything's on topic.
Yeah, off topic.
Well, not where in the YouTube. I think we already hit all these.
What? What you got?
There's a sister saying, I wear sweatpants
Oh.
when I'm indoors. Is that okay? That's just one.
That's up to your husband.
Okay.
Next one.
And she has another one that says, can I divorce my mentally abusive husband?
Can you divorce your mentally abusive husband? That's going to determine on counsel. You got to get counsel. Nobody can judge or break up a relationship just based off the word of one person. The obvious signs, if he's beating you, burning cigarettes on you, telling you to go in the corner and make him some money, making you do wicked things, those are the obvious. Obviously, you can leave him, right? But when you deal with mentally abuse, a lot of times, you know what I mean, especially in this day and age in society,
Make me a sandwich.
could you make me a sandwich?
That's mental.
Nigga, I ain't making you. So we have to talk and counsel to figure if that's the case, if he's really, and I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying that a true judge hears out both matters, hears out the matter before he makes a judgment. The scriptures say examine first, then rebuke. So to speak on something that detrimental just off a whim, you can't do that. What's the next one?
It says, I had a question, where in the Bible does it say all white folks going to hell?
It does not say all white folks are going to hell. Just like it says, it doesn't say thou shalt not smoke the crack weed. It doesn't say that. But it does tell you about the forefathers of what you call today as white people. Because let's deal with reality. There's no such thing as white people. There's no such thing as black people. You can't read about those people in the Bible. So now you get into their identity according to the Bible of who you are or who they are. So when you go to the Bible and you read about the forefather of who you call so-called white people, you find out that the Most High didn't give them any place for repentance because of what they did. And you can go read Obadiah, the first Obadiah. Just go read the Obadiah. And it'll tell you that about what happened and why the Most High said, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So, you gotta go to, you're not gonna find, remember, there's no such thing as, you probably can find Egyptian in there, but you can't find Negro, Puerto Rican, Haitian. You're not gonna find that in the Bible. You're gonna find us by our true identity. Yeah.
Well, I was on Amos 9 and 11, or 9 and 12. It's like, it's a called seed of the Edom of the heathen. It was like a called seed. Like
What's your question? I'm not sure what your question.
Oh, well, I was wondering, like, what did that actually mean, like a called by his name?
Oh, okay. Go to Amos 9 and 11. Let's go there.
Well, I'm already there.
Go ahead and read.
Amos 9, start at 11.
Start at 11.
Okay. And that day will I raise up the tabernacles of David,
Uh-huh.
that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. 12. That they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, said the Lord that does this.
Right. So all the nations are going to be ruled by David, and the ones that get into the kingdom. Because listen, the fact is that everybody ain't getting into the kingdom, right? So the Gentiles to get into this kingdom, right? A lot of them are going to be killed, right? A lot are going to be destroyed, but there's going to be some preserved. You see that? Preserved for slavery, preserved for building up our kingdom. That's what it's saying there. Got it? Yeah. That was it?
Kind of another one. It says, so the 44, it was saying about basically the 144,000, will they be past Israelites that are dead? Will that number be of past Israelites that are dead?
The 144,000 is going to be the ones that are here during during Christ coming back. Go back to Revelation 7. Okay? Those are the ones that's going to be alive. You know, like it says in Thessalonians, they that are alive, they're going to be caught up in heaven with the ones that are dead. Right? But those are the ones that are alive. Repeat that question again. I want to make sure I'm answering that question correctly.
Are people of the past also the 144,000?
Are people of the past?
Like somebody that's died.
Okay, that's why I had you repeat it. Remember, the Most High have chosen the 144,000 from the foundation of the earth. So yes, to answer your question, yes. Remember, He chosen us from the foundation of the earth. You're going to have the ones that are resurrected. They might be of that number. Okay, so that's why I had to read it again to rehear that question to make sure I answer it correctly. All right? Yeah, go ahead, Al.
No, well, so it ain't gonna be no 12,000 every tribe or the 12 tribes within this hour upon his arrival. So it might be obviously gonna be less than that.
No, you can't say.
I mean, before they get it together, it ain't gonna be. It gotta be 144 locked in before he returns. So it's gonna be less than that because it's gonna be people that pass. What you say?
We don't see. We're trying to get into knowing the will of the Most High. We're not gonna know who the 144,000 are until that day. In reality, you don't know. I don't know if I'm the 144,000. Right? It might be the Most High be like, nah, I never knew you. You worker of iniquity. Right? You might snap and go off. You might start doing crack again. So you not you, but you know what I mean. You know, the thing is that we're not going to know to that day, to that time, who they are. Right? Remember Paul himself, he said, I dare not make myself of the number. Right? He wasn't trying to assume a position and where the Most High, you know what I mean? The Bible tells you when you go into a place, take the lower seats. Right? So we don't know who that's going to be to that day. Does that answer you?
Well,
we're not gonna know.
No, I wasn't really talking about the people. I mean, basically the number. Is it like that amount gonna be here? But like what they were saying is like maybe 50,000 already dead.
It might be dead or alive, but we don't know. I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
The Bible don't say, listen, there's gonna be 75 that's alive. The Bible don't tell you that. The Bible don't tell you that. All right, so was that it? Any other questions?
That's just a comment.
Yeah.
It says, thank you, brothers. Always looking forward to to your live video and helps me with knowledge to share with my family and friends. My hopes in the future is our people get businesses that I may go to and feel at home.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we appreciate that. We appreciate the positivity. We always say that. We appreciate y'all coming on, listening. And we don't have no problem with brothers and disagreeing. We just have brothers that want to talk through the whole chat and argue. So when we get that positive, we appreciate that. But yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We also have class in San Antonio. We have our brother in Guatemala. He's on Blog Talk. If you brothers and sisters got any Spanish-speaking brothers that need to be taught. We also have classes in Albuquerque. So, you know, look out for our web page is coming up. We're adding, we kind of revamped it, and we're adding a lot of new things on our website. So it might be down right now. It's isbhpk.com, but he's working on it as we speak. So, yeah.
There was one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it lawful to watch fireworks around this time? Not popping them, just watching.
Is it lawful to watch them? All things are lawful, but not expedient. It depends. That's the question. I can go look outside and I ain't gonna want to be. I'm not rejoicing or tears not dropping because the 4th of July. But if I'm around my kids, I'm gonna tell them no. Well, I should say that again. At this point in time, my kids know we're not doing that. That's not what we do. This ain't our independence. So, you know, to look out and look at them, ain't nothing wrong with that. But who are you affecting? Remember, Paul said, it might mean offend. So you might be around a brother. See, that's where the Bible is applicable in different times. Meaning that, like I said, if I'm sitting at my window and I'm looking at them popping firecrackers, does that mean that I'm going to go out there and I believe in the independence of America? Hell no. Hell no. You know what I mean? It'll be the last. Right? But if my kids or somebody else that just got out of that, you want to show them that you ain't got no part in it. So it at that point in time, you might be like, nah, I'm not doing that. So remember that. Paul said, if my meat offend, I will no longer eat meat. Right? All things are lawful, but not expedient. That's not going to torment you it's not going to change your mind. You're not going to start getting Christmas trees and if you are, and if it's you have some sentimental value with it, then don't do it. You see? Stay away from it. But once again, there's no law that says thou shalt not watch firecrackers. You know what I mean? It says learn not the way of the heathen. Right? So, but once again, are you trying to be about that? Or, you know, because learn not the way of the heathen means that literally now you're trying to perform it and do it, you know what I mean, on that day. But does it mean could you watch it? Are you saying, you know what, I'm watching this and I have sentimental value with it? If it's affecting you that way, don't do that. If you're just going to go watch it and look outside and you're just looking at it, there's nothing wrong with that. That's like saying, listen, I'll give you a perfect example. My rib she was going to buy porch lights for Hanukkah, right? But they sell the porch lights on Christmas. So, not that the porch lights are evil, right? Not that
It's the timing.
It's the timing of it. So I told her, nah, don't do that. Why? Because the timing of it makes it look that way. You see that? You see that? It's not that lights are evil. It's that they made them on this day evil to where you don't want them to do with that. You see that? That's the wisdom. That's the wisdom of what Paul was trying to show us. If my meat offend, like we got the lights out there, it's during Hanukkah's already falling during this time, right? So now your kids or people that think, well, what's up with the lights? Well, Hanukkah is what?
Feast of Lights.
Feast of Lights, right? So I said, you know what? Instead of the lights, do candles. right? That's more familiarized with Hanukkah, right? You see that? You see how you the Bible says abstain from all appearance of evil. So now you have to be very strategic. Even though I don't give it, like if we would have got the lights and my kids would have seen them, they wouldn't be like, oh, we're worshiping Christmas. They're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But somebody young might be in the congregation and be able to say, well, what's up with the lights? They might have attributed that to Christmas. And that's what you don't want. You know, that's why you stay away from the appearance of evil, the way it might look. It might be perceived. Let me stay away from that. Right? These are the places where the law, you can't find in the book, thou shalt not. But you use wisdom. You use the knowledge. What's up?
The kids dressing up on Halloween, our kids dress up any other time, but that day we purposely tell them not to dress up.
Right, yeah, like they do that. They want them to dress. They want them to dress up, or, you know, because you can buy your kids like, you know, the superhero, what is it, pajamas, right?
Yeah.
But they want you to do that on Halloween. Nah, you're not doing that. Why? Because I'm going to show an outright disdain for this day. Right? I'm going to stay from the appearance of evil. But we dress up like that all, you know, when we're at home, we play around and, right. But on this day, you're not going to do it. Right? To stay away from that. So, once again, abstain from all appearance of evil. How is it looked? How is it perceived? How does this affect you? Right? Yeah, what's up? That was it? Alright, so, alright, if that's it, we're going to go ahead and conclude class. We'll give y'all a few seconds. We'll give you a few seconds to see if y'all have anything else. We want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for that do log on. We're going to have class tomorrow morning at 10, Shabbat morning class. If you want to donate, help out the school here. If you're in Houston, come join us. If you want to help out the school, you can make a donation. If you don't want to give money, you can give books, pens, papers, pencils, computers. If you know how to get it, tell us how to get it. You know what I mean? Everything we use and everything that's been donated is for the new brothers and sisters that come in. So, just wanted to put that out there. See if they got anything. And if they don't got anything, we'll close it out. Y'all got anything here? La? La? No? Okay. God. Anyway, anything says? Okay, salute them online. Say shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
We did that in unity. Okay. All right. I matter what Panya Hakudam, rise and face east. Okay. We'll get there.
Hey.
One day, Marcus. You get those shoes one day. You got it? I'm gonna get some more apple cider vinegar.
World records.
Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Malak Wafka,
Daba'ah,
Ratazaka,
Hayah,
Aisha, Ba'arataza,
Ba'arataza,
Kawa,
Hayah,
Bashamayim,